You're muted again.
That's
Way
because
to
my
go.
son is right next door and he's so loud. He's so loud. I told him, Evan,
Yeah,
don't be
but
so
you
loud.
muted yourself. You would think you would know to unmute
That's
yourself. Why is my
because
camera off
he's
again?
so loud.
Why
I
is my
don't
camera
know.
off again?
I turned it
Slow down.
off. It's on. I
No.
see you. I see you.
No, but I mean, I talk and the words don't match the mouth talking.
Oh, well, that often happens for you.
It's like one of those Chinese or
Your
Japanese
words don't match your mouth.
ninja movies, or
Talking.
those karate movies, you know, where they're like, "I will smack you."
I'm going for a strong one
If you
tonight.
want me to, I will smack everything you can say.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Anyway, Evan's super loud tonight. I don't know. He's playing some new game with his friend. He's just outside my door and he gets loud at times. So if you hear some yelling in the background, I'll try to yell louder. How's that? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Anyway, what are we talking about tonight? It's Top Chat Night. It's Top Chat tonight. We're giving away an award for the top chatter.
Oh, okay.
No, not tonight. That's an upcoming show. An upcoming show. Just kidding. We will do a top chat. We'll do a chat competition. But anyway, Ben, what happened this week? Anything exciting?
Nothing, but I'm going to plug next week first.
Oh, plug it.
Make me large on the screen.
Oh, God. You always want to be large.
Well, only when I have something
Large
important
on
to say.
screen. All
Okay,
right.
so this is the start of the show. Anybody, I will go over it again later on in the show when we get more chatty people and they're here. But for anybody who watches this later and they see the beginning, I want to plug next week. Next week, I will be going to Madison area and hanging out with my bro on his birthday, which will be next Friday's show, Jason's birthday show. And we are going to do something a little different. We're going to play a game. I'm a big board game guy. This one is not exactly my cup of tea, but I do own it, and it's kind of fun. But we're going to put a twist on it. It's a game called Wavelength. I'll show you. Here's the box right here. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. See it? Pretty good?
Whoa, it's kind of
That's
trippy.
Wavelength. It's trippy.
It looks like
yeah.
a trippy kind of game, and it's even trippier when you hold it in front of you like your back of a screen thing. Wow. I don't know. I feel like I'm Aaron Rodgers right now. I don't know.
That's right. It's ayahuasca, Aaron Rodgers trip.
Okay.
So get ready for that next week. It's going to be fun. I'm going to explain what happens real quick. So you get this board here. Okay. I should probably take my back off, but that's all right. So you get this little board thing. There's this top thing here. You spin it around, blah, 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 blah.
Wow. Okay.
This blue-
that sounds
this
like my
blue-
car a little bit.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So there's this blue shield here. Okay. Behind here, okay, is a grouping of different colors for points. 4 in the middle, 3 on the outsides of the 4, 2 on the outsides of the 3, and 1 on the outsides of the 2, and then nothing, no points after that. And what it is this: there'll be a this or that type question, and it'll just be a phrase. It'll be like hot or cold or whatever. We're not going to use that one, obviously, but one of them is overrated, underrated. We're going to use that for sure as Packers. And then what we're going to do is normally you come up with any topic. Well, we're going to do this game based only on Packers related items, whether it's Packers themselves, players, games, front office, moves they made, moments in a game, all that kind of stuff. There's all these different topics that we can choose from, and every answer must be a Packer answer. What happens is, though, one side of the spectrum will be all the way overrated. The other side of the spectrum will be all the way underrated. And the person who is giving the clue gets to look at it, okay, and then try to figure out where that would be. So, and then the other guy, and then probably all of our guests in the chat will decide. Do you want this? You want to try to find where that little spectrum area is of what the clue would be giving. So let's say it's overrated, underrated. I'm going to look at this right now, and I'll give you guys a clue and tell you how it works. Okay. Okay, so we got overrated, underrated Packers with this way going like this. Oh, this is going to screw me up, this camera. Anyways, this way going this way, all the way like this, would be overrated Packers. Okay, and then going all the way this way would be underrated Packers. So then you have to put this at the right angle where you're going to go, right? I'm going to say, so I'm just going to leave it in the middle for now. So as far as overrated, underrated, remember, overrated, this side. Nope, wrong. This side. Underrated, this side. Okay, and then the middle would be right in the middle, like a perfectly rated Packer would be right in the middle. Okay?
Yeah, like Josiah DeGuara.
So I'm going to say overrated Packer. I'm going to say for this one, I'm gonna say, let's see.
I got one, but anyway, I'll let you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but you have to fit it within a spectrum here. I'll say what it is. Let's say overrated Packer. Let's say I got a good one. Let's say Nick Barnett. Okay, so I said Nick Barnett. Based on Nick Barnett, where do you think the spectrum of where this arrow or this line should be? Like if he's super underrated, it would go way over here. If he's super overrated, it would go way over here. If he's exactly rated, it would be right here. And then all the different ways in between. So this is just a practice to show you what it's going to be like next week. And if you guys think this is lame, then we won't do it. But I just thought it might be cool. So what do you think, Jace?
My wavelength brings it probably about halfway between all the way overrated and where it is in the middle.
Okay, so kind of like this?
Yep, somewhere in there. Yep, looks pretty Nick Barnett-ish to me.
Okay, and now what we would do is discuss it. You could, like, if Nico was here, you and Nico would discuss it. Or we ask the chat, hey, what do you guys think? 45, Jonathan says 45%. So you're saying a little bit underrated. Is that what he's saying? Oh, no, he's saying just like that. I think he means the same thing. 45 degrees, you mean?
Yeah, maybe. That's
right about there, you're thinking? Like that?
I feel like that makes sense to me, but...
Right about there, you're thinking?
I think it's a little bit too close to not overrated. I'd have him even go a little further, but that's...
Oh, yeah. See, I'm getting screwed up because I'm back looking at it backwards. So right about there. Okay, so then what happens is we say, okay, here we go. And then we reveal the answer. Oh!
Does that mean we're right?
Well, it means I like Nick Barnett a little bit more than you. I think he's a little less overrated than you guys do, but I do agree he is overrated. So as you can see there, the blue area shows... oh my God, this is really confusing. Okay, the blue area shows 4 points. So if we would have got it in the blue area, we'd get 4 points. The orange area shows 3 points on both sides. What do you make me smile again for?
Because your mouth is way off now. I don't know what's up with.
And then the who cares? Well, then I'll hide my mouth and I'll just show this.
Okay.
I'm talking about the damn screen with this game, so freaking show it, you dingus. And then the yellow area is worth 2 points. So we would get 2 points. Okay, and what I was thinking was this: we do like 10 questions, back and forth between you and me. And if Nico's there, if he wants to do that too, he can. Or he can just guess one or the other. And hopefully, out of 10 questions, we can get 20 points out of this. Okay, and we'll just have different. We'll come up with different things. Not everyone is over or underrated. Some of them are different. They're like highly, whatever. I picked the ones that make sense. And then we'll just have fun doing something like this for like a couple 45 minutes to an hour, and then we're done. And then we're out of there. And then that's our show next week because we want to hang out and not really do a show. So this way we can play a game. It's also Dead Time Packer Zone, right? It's your birthday. It's your birthday party day. And we'll
play
this
show.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun. It might be stupid. I don't know. If people leave comments, they think it's dumb, fine. If they want to come in and tune in next week, or if they think it's dumb, they can just not tune in. Though I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be entertaining. We'll get some laughs out of it. Well, we'll be there together, so that's going to be something right there where we're all, you and me are in the same room. That's hardly ever happens. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
So, and then we just do this sort of thing, and then we can give each other crap. You're like, oh my God, you thought Nick Barnett was that good? You're an idiot. He's way freaking overrated. Stuff like that. And we laugh and have fun and drink some beers and whatever. So that's what we're going to do next week when I'm there to visit you, and I think it's going to be fun. So Wavelength Packer Edition next Friday night, 9:00. Get ready. It's going to be fun.
Just remember, all of our birthday shows in the past have also been in our birthday suits. So
no, that is not true. That is not true.
That was
Rick says he would have got 4 points. He would have known.
Rick is here.
Oh, hey. Rick, you got to come visit Jason next weekend. Your wife and kids came to visit him and left you at home. This time, come to Jason's and leave your wife and kids at home. We can have a big birthday party for Jace.
Bring your dragon though. Bring your dragon lizard.
The 14th is Jason's birthday.
Bring your dog, because then he can come along. Ben likes dogs.
Next Friday, I hate dogs, but that's okay.
I have to apologize.
They just don't like me.
We need to apologize to Rick right now. 2 weeks ago, we named off a bunch of the regulars, our people, and all this stuff. I blanked on Rick. I mean, kind of because he feels.
He's always.
I know. I feel terrible. It's been eating at me for 2 weeks. So I'm so glad he's back. Are you back in the States now? Or are you at a weird time in Europe watching us, Rick? I can't remember. But anyway,
I think he's back because Grant said he was done on Thursday, I think.
Oh,
so.
Okay. Good. Let's see. The 13th, Jonathan says. 14th, Jonathan, is my birthday. 13th is my birthday suit day.
All right, we're not going live that day then.
I need to pick him up from the airport that day.
That's okay. You can still tune in, Rick, and give us your ideas in the queue, kind of like this. Like Jonathan did 45. So we'll just do degrees. Like, it's 45 degrees unlikely here, 35 degrees. And we'll take the consensus. And, I mean, I don't know. It might not work. It might be kind of goofy.
Are we factoring in, like, we're when we're talking about this, we're not just, I mean, we're talking about, like, how overhyped a bunch of these. Because there's been a lot of, I've seen a lot of overhyping.
No.
A couple of players recently.
Not every question is going to be the same.
Oh, okay.
There's different types.
So like Eddie Lacy's weight by the end of his time with the Packers. Is there going to be like that on there?
No.
And I get to guess?
There's going to be no specific people named. I'm just using the cards from the game, but you have to answer in some sort of Packer
way.
Answer.
In a Packer
and it could
way.
be like a opponent of the Packers. You know, it could be like a bear or something. You know, like if it's like I think one of them is hero and villain. Well, if it's way over, then you could go villain would be like, I don't know, Jim McMahon or something. Well, that was the Bears in the 80s, but
this game might be too hard for me, but I'll give it a shot next week. Hey, Lee's here. Lee, how you doing? Good to see you. Raider Rick's here. I have a question for Lee. Let's get to it before we get to it. All right. I don't even know what to say here, but Lee, have you happened to step foot in the Mr. Brews off of exit GV off of 172, just south of Highway 172, off of that GV exit where a bunch of stuff is building up? You start to go south, you got Burger King, you got Quick Trip on your right. Across from that, there's this little complex with Luna Coffee Cafe place, which is a fantastic local coffee place out of De Pere. I love getting my stuff from there. Great baked goods too, by the way. Luna, should visit Luna if you ever go to the Pier Green Bay area. Also, right next to Luna, in that space, there is a Mr. Brews. Now, Mr. Brews is kind of a chain beer place with food. Food was really good, by the way. That's the first time I've ever been to a Mr. Brews. And I was like, I've never been to a Mr. Brews before. And so we went after a hard day's work. You know how sometimes we got to work hard. After a hard day's work, we went in to Mr. Brews. Sarah and Andrew and I. We walk in the place. And you look, and behind the bar, there's like, signs, all the signs of like 50 beers, different types of beers they got on tap, blah, 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 blah. And I saw the signs quick, and I looked to my right, and something caught my eye. And I stopped right there, and it was a life-changing experience.
Holy crap! Life-changing?
Life-changing experience.
You're telling me like you saw like God?
No. But
you
really
mean you
close.
like you found $1 million in like laying on the ground?
I found something better.
Bigger than that?
On the wall.
More life-changing than that?
On the wall.
On the wall.
Was I would say there's not even a value you can place on this item.
Oh my God. More valuable than
say.
finding the Lord and your Savior. And
we talked about that whole Lord stuff last week.
I know. I'm just saying. But I'm just like as an example for somebody who would be, that'd be something big to them. Or finding $1 million laying on the ground or something like that. Bigger than that. More valuable than that $1 million, you're saying.
I would take this. Would I take this over $1 million? No, because I could probably get in touch with them and buy it for less than that. So no, I take the $1 million before I take this, but it's actually more important to me than having $1 million, or more valuable to me than $1 million. On the wall. This was not a Packer themed bar, by the way. This was the only Packer jersey. Rick is guessing autographed Eddie Lacy jersey. That's a good guess, but not a good guess. Lee, if you're still around, have you answered my question? Have you been to that Mr. Brews? Have you stepped foot in it? Have you looked? If you haven't, you need to go, because on the wall was this right here, a signed and framed number 62 Patrick jersey, Lucas Patrick jersey, on the wall of Mr. Brews Tap House, or whatever the hell it's called, right off of the GV exit. Again, No other Packer jerseys in the place. They didn't even have any other jerseys on the wall. This was the only one. Only one. And I look at it and I'm like, holy crap. I mean, I just was stunned and I did a double take and I went back and I looked at the bartender and the guy's like looking at me like, what in the hell? And I was like, how did you get that? Where did you get that? What? How is this possible? He's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, he used to come in here all the time. I'm like, what the? He used to come in here all the time? All the time? Why didn't I know about this place before? Why did I know that it existed? Why did I know all the times that I went up to the Green Bay area during Packer season when Lucas Patrick was probably in town? I didn't know of his hangout that was right there. Why? And now I found it. Now, I was going to take a picture right away. Hey, David. I'm telling a quick story that is life-changing for me. Not
more valuable than $1 million. Almost.
And I thought right away, I was like, man, I was going to offer the guy some cash right away. I didn't know what to do there. I was stunned in the moment. I was just blown away that on the wall was this, a signed and autographed Lucas Patrick jersey with a message, not just scribbles number 62. It actually said, love the food and especially the cold beer with exclamation marks, 2 exclamation marks after that. Now, I'll get a better picture of it next time, but we are going there, my brother. I don't know that you knew this place existed, but next time we go there, we are going there. When we go to Packers training camp, we're going to Mr. Brews for a meal. We're going to sit by the jersey. We're going to get pictures on it. I'm going to wear my Lucas Patrick jersey and get my picture next to the signed Lucas Patrick jersey, and maybe they'll just give me the jersey, and maybe not. Maybe if I bring in like an autograph, like what's one I can get cheap right now? Maybe like Aaron Rodgers. Like, an autograph Aaron Rodgers jersey. Could they take that and put it on the wall and give me the number 62 to replace it? I would. I don't know.
It's pretty exciting.
I still can't get over it. I'm speechless. Like, I don't know if he had been there. I mean, I don't know what I would have done. I really don't know. Oh man, what? Here's my other thought. What if the Bears do cut him? What if the Packers are smart enough to re-sign him and he goes back to his old hangout and now I know where it is? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
I got a feeling you wouldn't be going to work anymore. You'd just be hanging out in that one particular place, waiting every day and every night for him to show up.
Mr. Brews off of GV just south of 172. It's on the wall. Signed by the man. He may have even sweat in that jersey. I don't know. But it's there on the wall.
You probably did sweat in that jersey.
Go check it out. If you're a real Packer fan.
I mean, it ain't like you're buying Lucas Patrick jerseys off the frickin' Pro Shop. Nobody gave 2 craps about Lucas Patrick jersey at the Pro Shop, especially one that was the throwback jersey. That's probably a throwback jersey he wore in a game. Not practice. Not a game. Or a game. Not practice. Yeah. I'm sorry. I mixed up the whole Allen Iverson. But anyways, that's pretty exciting. Lee, just so you know, we are planning. I already have off to be at Packer training camp this summer for the 2 days of Packers Patriots dual practices.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday is what the scheduled days are for those 2 practices. I will be there. I don't know if Jason's going to be there. I think he is. I will be there. And so then I'm assuming we will go to this bar on Wednesday night, I'm guessing, between the 2 practice days, Wednesday night. And we'll have a meetup. We'll try to have a meetup. Anybody who's in the Green Bay area and wants to come and hang out with the Hafen Bros, which would probably be just Lee. That'd be pretty cool, Lee, if you came. And then maybe Mom and Dad will be there. You can see Mom and Dad. They always leave comments in here all the time. And
Rick, if you're free, make a trip over to your parents or whatever and come hang out with us that week.
Yeah.
No,
so we're thinking. I already took it off, so I know I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'll go to that bar without Jason. I'm a little scared about that, but I'll go with Jason, sure. But so we're going to plan on being there, and so even if you don't see us at practice, show up to that bar on Wednesday night. We'll set a time, and we can just hang out and meet some folks. And if there's anybody in the Green Bay area who watches the show, I know not everybody comments. We get some views. We get it's not like we're getting a bunch, but there got to be maybe 3 people who live in Green Bay that watch this show. As long as you don't come beat us up because you think that we're jerks, that's fine. If you think we're okay, come on over. If you think we're funny, that's cool. We'll hang out and stuff. But But
we're lovers. We're not fighters, by the way. So we're not into
yeah,
fighting.
I only been in a fight once, and I punched my best friend in 3rd grade because he told me he was moving to Florida. So that was the only time I ever got in a fight.
A couple of brother wrestling brawls. And
yeah, we fought each other.
Not like legit fight. Like we never legit fought.
There's two.
At all.
Well, we did that one time.
Really?
That one time was when you picked me up and threw me on my head. Yeah.
Okay.
Rick was there.
I mean,
you didn't really throw me on my head. You tried picking me up, and then I was too heavy for you, and then we both fell down on top of my head.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah,
that's really what happened.
That other way sounds
more exciting. Yes, but no. The only feat of strength I could ever remember seeing anybody happen was one time. I'll tell the story real quick. I don't know. I don't remember what was going on. I was 15, I think, or 16 at the time. I was like 140 pounds. So I was like 5'11", 140 pounds. Not very heavy. And Mom said something to me, and I don't know what I said back to her. And Dad, I don't know. Dad probably doesn't want anybody to know about this, but Dad's kind of hard of hearing. He always has been his whole life. And he, so I don't know if he heard exactly what I said, because I don't think I said was that bad. But Mom's reaction was bad. So Dad got up, jumped out of his chair, which never happens, and ran over, picked me up by my throat, picked me up with one hand, and shoved me against the wall. And he was like, "If you ever talk to your mother like that again, I'll put you through this wall," or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And I was like, "Holy crap, Dad just picked me up with one hand." And our dad's not a big guy. I mean, he's shorter than me, and but that scared the crap out of me that day. I almost had to check my pants. It might have been a couple brown spots in there, and ever since then, I didn't talk back to Mom. I'll tell you that. That was Jason. Jason did a lot. I never did.
Oh. All right.
So anyways,
these guys might be able to meet up. The other thing I was thinking, and I don't know, I'm going to call over there or stop by maybe sometime even before. But I was thinking, man, if they'd be up for letting us use their internet, that we might just do a show from there too at some point while we're at training camp. Like maybe we'll do a hangout too, but we might just do a live spot from there with the Lucas Patrick jersey in the background. I'm just saying,
well, we got to recap the practice we watched.
Yeah, and that jersey needs some more attention put on it. That's all I know. So, damn.
And then you got to hashtag Lucas Patrick and attach it to his Twitter if he's got a Twitter and all. And then maybe we get Lucas Patrick on as a guest. After all these years, your dreams come true.
I'm just saying, if that happens, oh my God.
The only thing better would be to get Micah Hyde on or Mike Daniels, one of those two guys. Yeah. Mike Daniels would be the best because he's entertaining.
He'd be awesome. He would roll with us pretty good.
Micah Hyde is your favorite guy, so one of your favorite guys. And not your favorite guy of all time. I mean, Lucas Patrick's your favorite guy of all time, I know, but Lucas, he's kind of subdued and
Yeah, but he's pretty good. He's pretty smart. He's pretty funny. He's got his his stuff going. He's good. But
he just wrote that he likes the food and especially the cold beer, so you'd like him. He likes to drink cold beer apparently. But I think Eric Dahl, he'll drink warm beer, cold beer. He don't care. He'll drink all kinds of beer. He makes his own beer. So you like what Lucas Patrick said.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I had to share that with you because it was my life has changed as of last Saturday at 8:31 p.m. when we walked in the joint. Mr. Brews, Highway GV, just south of 172, right off the GV exit. Man, unbelievable. Right next to Luna, which was where you should get your coffee and your cinnamon roll from in the morning, by the way. Just a heads up. All right. You had some stuff you want to talk about tonight, my friend. You other news of the day was this one right here was the Quadzilla finds his footing. AJ Dillon wrote a children's book here, and it is being released. He's doing a book signing and release on Tuesday, July 11th. Coming up next week, 9 a.m. to noon, limited tickets. So come get your Quadzilla books. And Sarah, her sister was talking about it. She's like, man, if you live in Green Bay area, AJ Dillon, I think is going to sign back for like $1. Well, I
don't know about that.
Whatever, but he's like, he'll take a cheap ass contract. He met his wife or fiance from the area. They like the area. He loves Door County. I don't think he's going anywhere as long as he gets to. He might stay there after he's done playing football too. So I think his plan is, I want to stay. I think he's staying there. Play for the Packers.
He's not playing football.
Yeah, and I'll stick around
if he goes to another team, he'll come back to Green Bay. I think.
Yeah.
or he'll probably live in Door County is where he'll live, but maybe he lives there now. I don't even know. Maybe he drives down to Green Bay for practice and stuff. I have no idea where he lives, but I'm not like a psycho or something where I'm chasing guys around to find out where they live.
Today, Lee said, well, I might do that with Lucas. But anyway, today, Total Access Guy and Tony Manwich had a pod. It's pretty nice, as much as his time in Green Bay wasn't the best, though thought he'd give him a shout. So Tony Manwich the dude had a lot of expectations and pressure put on him, and did the Packers make the wrong choice? Yeah, probably. But whatever. I mean, they've blown plenty of draft picks that didn't get nearly as much crap as the Tony Manwich pick. And maybe it was because it was number 2 pick overall or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
My kid just gave me
what'd she give you? Like
McDonald's surprise.
Oh, look at your kid loves you. Give you the golden arches.
I just gotta say, they're soggy and they suck.
Yeah,
that's why she gave them to me. Heads up. No.
I got a meal for me and a fry for you because Mom said she didn't want anything. I didn't know if you wanted something.
Wow.
Good story.
I'll tell you this much. There's a lot of kids that are jerks when they're 17. And my daughter, probably 10% of the time, is a jerk. But 90% of the time, she's pretty sweet.
Aw, that's
and
nice.
she definitely is good looking because she looks like me, so you know she's good looking. So anybody out there, stay away from her. You understand me? Thanks, Livs. I appreciate
All right, are you
it.
ready now to get to your big analysis?
Well, now I got to eat these fries. Though I will say this.
They're
There was a
soggy
time
in
back
there,
in the day when
cold
McDonald's
anyway.
fries
Just
were
let
like
it go.
remember, I used to go to McDonald's just to get the fries. Remember when they were
Yeah.
hot and crispy and good, like in the 90s?
Yeah.
Nowadays, they're just like rubbery crap they throw some flavor on, and then after like half an hour, they turn into like packing peanuts or whatever. It's really bad. But thanks, Livs.
Well,
That sounded weird, but
for anybody
okay, go
that
away.
for
I'm
anybody
sorry to
that
turn
knows,
the outside light on for you. She had to come home in the dark.
Jesus.
Oh, it was on. Oh, okay, good.
So anybody that knows the northeast Wisconsin area well, they know that Jumbo's had the best fries back in the day anyway.
Ooh,
Jumbo's fries. Jumbo's Drive-In, just around south of Kewanee, which is a little bit south of Algoma.
Yep.
And used to just get a bag of greasy fries, and it was like magical. Order the
Oh, Mom,
bag
Dad
of
did.
fries. They give it to us in the back seat. We just munch on the fries. I don't know what they were doing in the front seat in terms of waiting for food or drinking. I don't know what they were drinking. Who cares? We had a bag of fries. It was fantastic and way better than Mickey D's fries, by the way.
I don't
But
even
anyway.
remember any of that stuff.
Oh my God, Jumbo's fries are the best. All right, but then Jumbo's is no longer there, so you can't even enjoy it anymore.
No,
so
you can't
that's
go
only
there
for anybody that remembers Jumbo's back in the day. If you remember Jumbo's, you can relive the fries back there. But you had said some things here about Ben, an article that came out about the best Packers of the. What is it? Say it again, because I don't even remember it.
Here, I'll get it up on the screen, and then you can. I'll have to share it here.
All right,
You can make it big and all that kind of crap.
that sounds good.
Oh wait, hold on a sec. I gotta go back to here and share after. So it's what it is the because it's the dead time. There's nothing to talk about, people. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Aaron Rodgers called David
Bakhtiari fat.
Bakhtiari lazy and fat. He said he was laying around getting
Well,
fat.
Aaron Rodgers is a jerk, so who gives a rat's ass what he says? I can't stand that guy. Okay.
Jordan Love sent a message out. Happy Independence Day the other day from France.
Did he really?
I don't remember. I think he was in the United States, but yeah, he did like a little video.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
All right, so here you go.
Oh,
Look at that.
dude.
The two biggest jerks at Packers.
Oh, wait a minute. They got another one jerk on there. What the hell? You got
I know,
three
Elon
jerks.
Musk too. Yeah, it's all jerks. That's an ad there. Anyways, so this is who is this guy? Zach Cruz. Zach Cruz did an article that I saw today, and it's the all Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers team. So he's taking the 53-man roster, okay, and he's taking players from the Brett Favre, anybody who played during the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers era, and he's making that his team. So he's putting a 53-man roster together. So I thought we'd look at it, and then of course educate the people, and tell them the truth. And you would run a scroller across the bottom that tells you, what the actual truth is about all this stuff, right? So we'll go through the whole list.
I got to be on my game then. All right, let's do
So
it.
Jason's gonna hopefully put down in the little comments. He'll put put quarterback 1, whoever, 2, whoever, and 3, whoever, and then we'll just keep adding to it. Let that keep scrolling, then we'll add the running backs, and then it'll just keep scrolling on the bottom like we did with the quarterback rankings. And I think it'll be a fun little thing, and everybody can have their little say. I can't see anything because I'm just looking at my screen, so I don't see the chats and all that. So you're gonna have to watch the chats too. Sorry, but that's just the way it works. Unless I can somehow open another screen, I don't know how to do. I'm not that smart. Okay, so first off, we're doing quarterbacks. So remember, this is between 1992. Don Majkowski gets hurt. Brett Favre comes in the game. So anybody who played at that point until the end of the 2022 season can make up a part of this team. Anybody. Okay? Don Majkowski never played again for the Packers, so he can't make it. So because of that, if you look, I don't know, can you see my cursor? Over here is the list of names.
Yep.
Brett Favre, they have 1A. Aaron Rodgers, 1B. But number 3, a guy who didn't even play. He played 20. They said he threw only 29 passes for the Packers. Was Matt Hasselbeck. So they obviously took his. They're taking account the play that they had outside of the Packers as well. I am probably not going to do that, but in this case I will because, of course, Matt Hasselbeck's my favorite. So if we, in this case, since we're taking it outside of the team, I say my vote is Matt Hasselbeck number 1. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, in terms of I'm not gonna. Oh, God, I was watching some stuff of Rodgers in the past. He was really good for a while. He really was
Okay, fine.
Good.
Put Rodgers number 1.
I mean, I hate him.
Hasselbeck's number 2.
I take Hasselbeck over Favre. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I'm eating some fries, so just so you know.
Especially because Hasselbeck wouldn't make as many dumb plays as Favre. And yeah, I'd take Hasselbeck over Favre. Just remember, if you're factoring that in, I mean, Matt Hasselbeck with the Seahawks was really freaking good. And he was held down by Mike Holmgren, he was suppressed a little bit by the Holmgren putziness.
He played great, but they had a MVP
and he had terrible
running back.
Terrible receivers as well.
Right. But he also had an MVP running back stealing every 1 and 2 yard touchdown pass that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers got. That's the thing people don't understand. Like, we look at Matt Hasselbeck's stats and they're like, oh, well, he was good. I actually looked at his stats the other day. They're pretty damn good. But, I'm just saying he had a team where the running back scored 20, 30 touchdowns. He set the running back touchdown record one year. Then it got broken right after that, the next year by LaDainian Tomlinson. But, I mean, he was on a different type of team. That team knew how to win games by running the ball in the red zone. And the Packers, they had 2 egomaniacs at quarterback who were first-round picks. Matt Hasselbeck was a 5th-round pick or 6th-round pick who ended up being awesome. So he's high in my rating, and I definitely liked him more than Brett Favre. So I'm putting him at least 2. So let's put Aaron Rodgers 1, Matt Hasselbeck 2, Brett Favre 3. There are a bunch of other guys who played for the Packers during that time. You're talking Ty Detmer. You're talking Aaron Brooks, Mark Brunell. And then after that, probably a bunch of scrubs that nobody cares about because it's, Matt Flynn.
None of them really.
None
of those guys really did as much in the NFL, though.
Well, they have Matt Flynn has just missed it. So obviously, I don't know what Zach Cruz is. Yeah, They have Matt Flynn over Mark Brunell and Aaron Brooks, who had way better careers than Matt Flynn.
Yeah, Mark Brunell was a good NFL quarterback.
He played for a long time with the Jags, and Aaron Brooks played for a long time with the Saints. So they had way bigger careers than Matt Flynn. So the fact that Hasselbeck makes the list only throwing 29 passes is kind of a joke. I don't know. But there is nobody else. I mean, Brett Favre never came out of the game. And when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, we had the likes of, what's his face? Oh, I can't remember half these idiots' names, right?
They didn't have anybody any good.
I mean, they all sucked. So you can't put any of those guys on here. So he went with Hasselbeck because Hasselbeck got to a Super Bowl, right? So that's why. But it's a kind of a dumb list when it comes to the quarterbacks. So are you ready to move on, or you got everything on this tracker down there?
Yep.
Okay, we're moving on. Here we go. We're going to running backs.
We have the I've titled it the D-bag era best 53-man roster is what my article title of this article would be. But go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so they're going running backs 3. I think we should just stick with the amount that he went with for each position. Let's not try to add because it'll be too hard to keep track of all that crap. So we're going to go with 3 running backs. He's got Ahman Green number 1. And based on stats, I understand that. Aaron Jones, number 2. Dorsey Levens, number 3. I agree with those 3 players, not in that order. What do you think? Or maybe you're a way bigger Ahman Green fan than I ever was.
Well,
he put up a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. And
his production was really good.
But the difference was when he was the star, the team stunk.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that was part of that was Brett Favre, throwing picks and whatever, but it wasn't like they were like in the playoffs. They missed they had a couple down years in there.
Right.
So I don't know what you think about that, but yeah, based on stats. But that's the other thing I want to be really clear. We're going to do it based on performance and ability on the field.
He also got a lot more opportunities than Aaron Jones.
Right. That's the thing. I mean, the guy got 1,000 million carries. And if there was a 1-yard touchdown, he would get the 1-yard touchdown sometimes, or at least a 1-yard touchdown pass. Aaron Jones never gets any of those. So, I mean, you know me, I'll put Aaron Jones number 1. I'm putting Ahman Green number 2, and I'll put Dorsey at number 3 because Dorsey's my second favorite Packer of all time, right after Aaron Jones. So, I love my 2 running backs, but it's up to you. Ahman Green had a great run of a couple years there.
Yeah. But Aaron
Jones
down.
Right, but Aaron Jones is still going, and now he's the leader of the team. Ahman Green was never had to be the leader of the team. Ahman Green was never like,
right,
the sole. I don't know what to say it, but like the fan base, he didn't have the charisma of Aaron Jones, that kind of stuff. So,
and he was different.
I don't know.
He was different in.
He was good though.
He had some moves, but he ran over guys more.
Yeah,
than
he was
Aaron
pretty
Jones
big. Yeah.
Than Aaron Jones makes guys miss. Like Aaron Jones runs physically, and we talk about how he makes people miss in a different way than most people do. And not that Ahman Green didn't make people miss, but he would like lower his shoulder and run over Vikings all the time, and that was awesome. I mean, so a lot of people get excited about that when you just run over a guy because it's kind of an exciting thing. So I think people like have a glorified bit of him a little bit more just because he did that probably more often than Aaron Jones isn't going to like lower his shoulder and run over a guy. He's going to run through and gain yards after contact, make people miss and break tackles, but not in the same way, in a different way.
Well, does anybody have comments in the comment screen? Like obviously I will, whatever the consensus in the comments is, if they say Ahman Green over Aaron Jones, the stats say that, and he was a good player. So I'm not going to be like, no. But this one, I would say this one, they got the right 3 guys there, obviously, because Dorsey's I'm going to say that because Dorsey's my second favorite, but Dorsey had so many huge games in the playoffs, and then just injuries just took the toll on his body. And it's a shame that he had to sit behind Edgar that the first couple of years where he could have, if he would have given the damn ball, he'd probably have stats like Ahman Green, but whatever.
And Ryan Grant just missed? What?
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Grant was not that good, but he was okay, but not that great.
He wasn't bad, but he was a long line. He started the long line of guys between Ahman Green and Aaron Jones. Well, he didn't start it, but he was part of it. The Sam Congato, who's in all these random guys, James Starks and Eddie Lacy, and that were they were fine, but they weren't up to the snuff of these 3 guys. So
Lee's comment was that Ahman Green had a way better line than Aaron Jones had.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A better offensive line, like rushing offensive line for sure.
Yeah, and probably a better offensive system to run the ball too. Like Mike Sherman.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. They were pretty during the Mike Sherman years. They were pretty focused on running the ball, and Favre had a lot of, lower total years, like not all the pass attempts, not all of the, not as high touchdown totals. Like a lot of that stuff happened, and Ahman Green was really kind of the featured guy on the offense. During that span, because even when he wasn't handed it to him, he was throwing it to him because Favre would take all the easy completions to Ahman Green because he, unlike Aaron Rodgers, didn't really give a crap if he threw like a negative 2-yard pass and the guy ran with it and whatever, that's what made one of the other things that was different between him and Rodgers. Rick he put Green ahead of Jones right now. but a big year from Jones might change that in his mind.
Yeah.
So we got a split decision there. But
Well, they say Amon Green had 61 total touchdowns in his career. Aaron Jones has 45, I think,
he has
right
60.
now.
He has 60.
Oh, he has 60. Oh, there you go. He's only one touchdown down.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Aaron Jones
Amon
is gonna,
Green
he's
had
going to
that-
pass him up. He's going to pass him. That's it. I veto it. Aaron Jones number one. Put Aaron Jones
No.
number one.
Amon Green had that one monster year of like 1,800, almost 1,900 rushing yards and 18
Well, they
touchdowns or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was just like a total.
2,250 yards, 20 touchdown season in
Right.
2009.
I mean, Aaron Jones has never done that. But
Well, yeah, he
you're
had a
talking
19
about
touchdown season in 2019.
right. But you're talking about consistency. You're talking about effectiveness, and ultimately, yards. Amon Green had a good yards per attempt, but it couldn't touch Aaron Jones' yard per carry. So, I'll give it to Jones. I'm good.
And they say here, Dorsey Levens had 1,805 total yards and 12 touchdowns in 1997.
Ooh.
The
Jonathan
year,
said,
the year that he took over the starting running back job from Edgar Bennett.
right. Green hit the hole like a bat out of hell, says Jonathan.
He did. He was pretty good. He was. I'm not
And
saying
he was
he's bad.
physical. Greg Taylor is here. Greg, how you doing? He says, I'm sure Green had more touches. Rodgers wouldn't give Jones the touches.
That's true.
Nor would McCarthy for a while. So
I would say,
dumb.
I just think the awesome job thing is this. Both of those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And they had
really
to
good
play with D-bag, diva baby quarterbacks. But one of them, well, not diva babies. One was a diva. The other one was a diva baby. And Aaron Jones had to deal with a diva baby. So I'm giving him number one because he had to deal with a diva baby. I don't care. But you can do whatever you want. Let me know when you're ready to move on to wide receivers. Because the next one is a touchy subject that I'm a little pissed. And it's going to be, you think I'm mad now.
Well, I know who should probably be number one, and I hope he is number one.
I
but
know.
if he's
Well,
not-
we'll all say it together.
all right,
When you're
so
ready, we'll say it before we move. Are you ready? You got the running backs
we're
on the
good.
list?
We got the running backs on there.
Okay,
We're good.
ready? 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to say the guy's name after the three. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Sterling
Sterling
Sharp.
Sharp.
Okay, that was weird. We're way off, but we got it. We're right. That's who should be number one. By far, it should be Sterling Sharp. Let's see what this guy says. Zach Cruz. Oh, it's an ad. Sorry about that. Oh, wait, we're fullbacks. Crap, I forgot about this.
We might get fired up on this one too.
This one, if we had a list, remember that overrated, underrated Packers thing that we did with earlier with Wavelength? William Henderson is the most overrated Packer in the history of Packers. And I think it's hilarious that they show him with his 30 jersey, which is the jersey he should have kept the entire career, that he stole from a much better player after he left the team. And then, luckily, after that, we had two more good guys who wore that number 33.
Yep.
But
Okay.
this guy ruined 33 for a good couple years. And luckily, we got Micah Hyde who came in and fixed the 33 mess and brought it back to height of Doug Evans and now Aaron Jones. But yes, William Henderson's the most overrated player in the history of Packers, period. Couldn't block worth a dog shit. Here it says he was a bruising blocker, effective short yardage runner, and capable receiver. No.
He was a terrible runner,
No.
and he was not a good blocker.
He was a terrible
big.
blocker.
He was a big guy, and you thought he should be a good blocker, but he wasn't.
Right. And you
just-
could just look at the stats Edgar Bennett had, or look at Dorsey Levin's stats in 1996, his yards per carry when he was running out of the single back formation, and then compare that to his yards per carry the next year when he was running behind William Henderson, who missed blocks constantly, and Dorsey had to make guys miss just or run over him to try to get some yards. It's pathetic. The answer for fullback is John Kuhn, 100%, because he was smart. He did actually have to become the number one running back on the team for a while when he was there. And he picked up some killer blitzes when they really needed him to, especially the one against the Bears where he took out Julius Peppers so that Rodgers could get the ball to Cobby to score the touchdown to get to the playoffs. So John Kuhn is the answer here, not William Henderson, 100%. William Henderson doesn't even deserve to be in the Packer Hall of Fame, in my opinion, but
And John Kuhn,
he's a nice guy, but the most overrated Packer in the history of overrated Packers.
I don't know about that, but he was very overrated. And John Kuhn also was an effective short yardage runner. Like, he was good at picking up first down. Like, when all the time that they had John Kuhn on the team and it was a short yardage running play, I would have much rather seen them give him the ball instead of basically any of the other running backs they had, like Eddie Lacy and whoever else they were running with before Aaron Jones came along. I'd have much rather seen John Kuhn get the ball because he just he wasn't trying to make it a big play. John Kuhn understood if I need 2 yards to get the first down, I'm getting 2 or 3 yards here. I'm going to make sure I get it. I don't give a crap if I get, something breaks open and I'm going to get 10, 15-yard run. I'm getting the first down because right now it's most important that I get the first down. And John Kuhn, that also goes to how smart you are. Like understanding the situation and doing what needs to be done, not thinking about, I'm going to make a big play here.
Well, I've seen interviews with William Henderson. I think he's a smart guy. I
do too. But
I just think he got overrated.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think he's a nice guy. It's just
right.
People. It's kind of like it's kind of the Mercedes Lewis factor here. Where you watch the film and you're like, Mercedes Lewis is average blocker at this point in his career, but people keep saying like he's another tackle out there. Well, it's the same thing with William Henderson. He was an average blocker at fullback, yet people kept saying he was this bruising fullback because he didn't do anything else. So to talk about him, that's what they had to bring up. The weird thing is here too is they say Henderson was voted a Pro Bowler and first team All-Pro in 2004, but John Kuhn was a Pro Bowler 3 times. So, and I'm sure that 2004 season was the Ahman Green big, humongous, gigantic season, and Henderson just got votes because he was, I don't know, or maybe he scored a bunch of 1-yard touchdowns from Brett Favre that year. Who knows? He had like 6 1-yard touchdown receptions or something. I don't know. So, anyways, so we both agree John Kuhn, right?
Yep.
All right, ready to move on to Sterling Sharp?
Yep.
Wide receivers, here we go. Probably an ad first. Oh, wide receivers. Okay, well, this is
what?
Yeah, right. And I want to start with this first. Let's start with, I'm going to read you what it says. What a group. Adams and Sharp combined for 10 Pro Bowls and 5 first-team All-Pros, despite the pair only playing 15 total seasons in Green Bay. Adams caught 73 touchdowns. Sharp had 65. So that's why he's putting them where they are. But then he says both were individually dominant and game-breaking receivers who one day belong in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I have issue with dominant and game-breaking receivers. Yes, one of them was dominant and a game-breaking receiver. 100%. The other one was a glorified
possession
receiver who caught perfect passes, and he would get open, and he has great vision and great hand-eye coordination. I do not disagree with that at all. But as far as a dominant and what was the word I just said? Dominant and game-breaking? The guy only has 3 touchdowns of 40 yards or more in his career. Out of his 73 touchdowns, only 3 of them were 40 yards or more. I can remember Sterling Sharp catching touchdowns and running over dudes. And remember the one time where he thought he was in the end zone, but he wasn't because it was all snowy. And then he fumbled the ball and then picked it up and got in the end zone. Then there was a touchdown against the Detroit in the playoffs where Favre ran around like a dum-dum and then just chucked it up there and he caught it. That was a huge bomb. And then there's a bunch of other ones where he ran over dudes and ran through. He had a million touchdowns of way over 40 yards. And he was a game-breaking. They had to put 3 guys on Sterling Sharp to stop him. Devontae, you could put like one guy and maybe shade a safety, and you weren't worried about him taking it to the house. You kidding me? Dominant and game-breaking? Sterling Sharp is number 1. And Devontae isn't even number 2. Let's go over the list. What do you think about this? First of all, here's the list. Devontae Adams, Sterling Sharp, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, Antonio Freeman, and Greg Jennings.
What? Greg Jennings is way more dangerous than Antonio Freeman.
And not only that, Greg Jennings played with both Favre and Rodgers and was dominant with both Favre and Rodgers. He had over 1,000-yard seasons with both of those guys, unlike anybody else on this list. Even Donald Driver didn't ever have a 1,000-yard season with Aaron Rodgers.
What is hilarious? What isn't... There's something that also, just a side note, that is hilarious about this list is how we heard all this time how Favre never had anybody to throw to and Rodgers didn't have good enough guys to throw to because no first-round picks.
All these guys were Rodgers guys except for Sterling Sharp. Oh, wait. Tonio,
double D. Look,
here's my order.
Come on.
Well, you tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I think the order should be.
All right. Well, Sterling Sharp, I agree with you, is number 1.
Yep.
I would say.
So who do you think should be number 2? Let's talk it out.
I got to go with. Partly because of longevity, I got to go with Jordy Nelson as number 2.
I agree because I think he was game changing. He did scare crap out of people, and way more dynamic. than Devontae Adams. Yet he could still catch those throw it 3 yards out of bounds and lean your body way over and still catch it and do the stuff that Devontae could do. He had all the body control of Devontae Adams, but he also had the game-breaking speed. That guy scared the crap out of people way more than Devontae Adams. So, yes, Jordy Nelson should be number 2. I agree. So, who's number 3?
Number 3?
It's not that hard.
I might
It's Greg Jennings.
Double D or Greg. Well, okay.
It's Greg Jennings. Double D is awesome.
Talent, Double D was awesome and played with him so long.
You know what? You're right. Double D should be number 3. Double D should be number 3 because he's the leader in receptions, and for the team, he was a player who you could always count on. I mean, how many first downs did that guy catch? How many times did he make a guy miss? Like Donald Driver skying like 5 yards in the air to catch a pass that was terribly thrown by Brett Favre. I mean, come on.
And Jonathan, and we remember some of these things. Jonathan says in the comments, Driver game after game, they hit him and he got up.
Yeah, and he was only 188 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he took some shots. I thought he was going to die. Like that was back in the day when you could take out guys up in the air, and Favre would throw it too high, and he'd go up and get it because he could jump, and guys would just rock him crazy when he came down. Where you thought Brett Favre was going to literally, I thought Brett Favre was going to kill Donald Driver here.
Yeah, because
there were times
the defense. He just chucked it at the green jersey. And then there's 3 guys there to smack the crap out of him. And
I really thought Donald Driver was going to end up with a serious injury a number of occasions. And it's amazing that he never did. And thank goodness he never did. But just I'm making him there because he was productive and on the team for so long and a great Packer. I'm putting him up there because of that. I'm not just going on because if you said, was Greg Jennings more dangerous and more talented? Yes.
He was. Yeah,
100%. But he didn't play with the Packers as long, and Double D, did a lot of the dirty work. So I'd put him at number 3. So I'm going Sterling Sharpe, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver here.
Okay, then I'm going to say Greg Jennings is 4. Then, no matter what you say, I'm putting Greg Jennings
above Devontae Adams. What?
Yes. Wow. Yes. Greg Jennings has the speed of the speed of Jordy Nelson. And the agility of Donald Driver combined into one package. It's just they gave up on him, and he also got hurt that year, and that kind of slowed him down. But he had the ability to he had the hands too. I mean, he didn't have Sterling Sharpe hands, but he was probably the second best hands guy on this team when it comes to catching the ball. Greg Jennings, I don't remember him dropping too many damn balls. Once in a blue moon, but
and his performance in the 2009 wild card game against Arizona was insanity. Like he was so ridiculously good in that game. I mean, he had plenty of games where he was really good, but he had, like you said, he had speed. He wasn't that big. He was only 5'11", right? But speed, could get open, could change direction, run after the catch, great hands. I mean, Greg Jennings was, if you ask me most dangerous talent level guys, I'd put him at number 2.
Right.
But because of production and because of longevity in the team and some of the other stuff, Jordy Nelson wins out, Double D wins out, and then I'm okay with that. Devontae Adams was pumped up. Devontae Adams was pumped up because
but he still has skills.
He does 100%.
That are high. Like he's kind of one of those guys. Or there's some guys who are really good at everything, but masters of none. Or you know what I mean? He's the guy who was a master of one, and then below average at everything else. But he was a master at getting open. Sometimes it took him a while. And then the ability to contort your body and locate the ball in the air and make the catch, no matter where he was on the field, no matter who was on him, no matter what position he was. And those are things that are definitely valuable. I'm not saying they're not. And he is definitely a top, 5 receiver during this time. So I'll put him at number 5. But I would rather have Sterling Sharpe, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, and Greg Jennings over Devontae Adams in their primes at any time, because those other 4 guys have the ability to take it to the house one way or another. Double D will make you guys miss a couple times. Sterling Sharpe will run over you. Jordy Nelson will just run past you. And then Greg Jennings will do both, juke you out of your shorts and run past you. And Devontae, you can't do any of those. He can't run past you. He can't juke you out of your shorts once he has the ball.
That's true.
His yards after catch, not great.
Double D just remember, Double D had enough speed to run away from guys.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, I'm just going to throw this out there for Double D. Just remember that insane catch and break tackle
49ers.
and run against the 49ers that he
Yeah.
had. Like, you
That was
never
awesome.
saw any sort of play like that on Devontae Adams in your life. Devontae
he's-
Adams he hadn't even made that play in Pee Wee League. And
I know.
Donald Driver did that in the NFL. That was insane.
When he completely stopped, and then two guys jumped over his, his back, and then he kept going, and then he jumped back. He had the ability to jump back for like a second and make another guy miss, and then just kind of high step it into the end zone. It's one of the greatest plays of all time.
Yeah.
it was all him.
100%. I know.
He beat 5 guys on that play all by himself, and that just shows the difference between a guy who can do something with it after he has it in his hands, and Devontae Adams, who the majority of his work was done prior to him getting the ball. And then once he got the ball, nothing was really done after that. You know what I mean? His touchdowns were all caught in the end zone for the most part. It wasn't like he took it and then took it to the house, unless he was completely wide open because somebody was a drop in coverage or something.
Yeah, or fell down. Jordy Nelson. David says Jordy Nelson was always the dagger. He also says Adams was a possession receiver. Correct. And then Lee says I have Sharp, Jordy, Adams, Double D, and Jennings. That's his 5.
Okay, well, I respect it, but we're
I
not
can
doing it.
too. I can too.
But here comes the real problem. Number 6 is a very tough one to me.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, Robert Brooks was something else, and injuries shortened him. Antonio Freeman had a great run, but he couldn't catch the damn ball with his hands, for God's sake. That's a problem. You also have Randall Cobb in there.
Yeah, that's true.
James Jones in there.
I showed you James Jones' stats last week.
Exactly. I mean, you're talking, there's 4 guys who were all very, very, very good Pro Bowl. Every one of them made a Pro Bowl at one point in their careers. I mean, when the Packers were going to the Super Bowl, the year that they were supposed to win the Super Bowl, it was the Chiefs and the Packers on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And the 3 Packers that they chose to put on the cover of Sports Illustrated was Brett Favre, Reggie White, and Robert Brooks. That was how big Robert Brooks was on that team, because that was before LeRoy Butler was probably the 3rd most popular or, consensus best player on the team. Now, of course, LeRoy's a Hall of Famer, but at that point, he only had like 1 or 2 good years. And it's easier for a wide receiver to look good, get a bunch of stats because, Favre's throwing the ball 25,000 times or whatever. But there was a time when Robert Brooks was a number 1 receiver on the Packers. But there's also a time when Antonio Freeman was a number 1 receiver on the Packers. So I think it comes down between those 2 guys. And I think as much as we make fun of him, Antonio probably deserves number 6 just because of how many game-changing plays he had.
He made plays.
He did. In the Super Bowl, in playoff games, the play against the Vikings, we talked about it last week. We made fun of Mo. All those things put him at number 6. I agree. So I think they got the right 6 guys here. They just got the wrong order. But shout out to Robert Brooks, shout out to James Jones, and shout out to Randall Cobb. 3 excellent, excellent receivers. And the fact that we've had all those receivers on a team that repeatedly people say, oh, Brett Favre did it by himself. Aaron Rodgers did it by himself. No, they didn't, folks. They didn't. All these guys were very, very good receivers. A lot of them 2nd-round picks and 3rd-round picks. And that's the reason why. The Packers didn't wait until after the 3rd round to get any of these guys, except for Donald Driver. He's the one guy who busted his ass from the bottom of the shoe and then climbed back up and freaking was awesome. And that's why we all love him so much. But I say there's a great group of receivers that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers had to throw the ball to, which also helped them become Hall of Famers in their own right. So shout out to all those awesome receivers. There you go.
All right. I got them all in there.
Got them all in there? Okay.
They're up on the list here. They're on the ticker.
Here we go. We're moving on. Tight ends.
Sorry, Zach Cruz, you're off a little bit there, but we got you covered. How you don't put Sterling Sharp as number 1 is just dumb. That's just stupid.
He must
Sorry,
be a
man.
youngster. He probably never watched Sterling Sharp.
Yeah,
he just probably looked at the stats. Oh, Sterling Sharp had 65 touchdowns. Devontae had 73, so he must be better. Wrong.
Go
Watch
back
the film.
and look
Watch
at how
the
that guy
film.
played. The guy was insane. Whatever. His brother said it in his Hall of Fame speech. Like, come on. I mean,
not many players can say that they're the second best. They're a Hall of Famer and they're the second best player in their family. Yeah, that's the truth. All right. Speaking of his brother, let's talk about the tight ends. Here we've got Zach Cruz has Jermichael Finley, Bubba Franks, and Mark Chimera. Now, we just did that touchdown rankings show about 2 months ago, and I can't even remember what the heck order these guys were in on that show.
Tight ends, they were not very impressive.
No. But it's interesting to see Zach Cruz values the game-changing receiver type tight end over the blocking receivers, which is interesting to me.
The tight ends, you mean?
Tight ends. Well, yeah. Well, blocking tight ends. So I don't know what you think about this. Why don't you go ahead and take over and tell me what you think the order? You played tight end in high school, so you tell me what you think is the best order for these tight ends based on what your stats are. And I think these are the three guys. Obviously, I don't think there's anybody else who even comes close to these three. I mean, Fatty Keith had a great 1 year, but
only 1 year.
You can't put him on here for 1 year.
No, and then the Packers really had like a revolving kind of door at tight end for a long time, where they had these,
Donald
these
Lee.
these like
Rogers.
free agent guys. I mean, Richie Rogers was a 3rd round pick, which was, his talent didn't match that 3rd round pick, but whatever. But they had like, for a long time. I mean, Spencer Havener, who remembers him playing in the game, and
Tom
Crabtree. Tom Crabtree, and like, some of these dudes. It's like they weren't that good. Now Ed West was a solid tight end, but he was before Favre and Rodgers, the D-bag era.
Yeah,
so
he never played with Brett Favre.
Yeah. So that's probably it. And I mean, Jermichael Finley they didn't ask him to block a lot. So I guess you can't really pin him. You can't really say, well, let's hold him down for that or put him down for that. He was a talented athlete, and he was dynamic, and he could do some stuff with the ball, and he was pretty good run after the catch. And, he dropped it at times, but yeah, I would say he's got to be number one. Bubba Franks was more all around, but he was not very dynamic, and it actually really wasn't that good in the passing game for the most part. But they also, he ran a lot of short routes.
He had 32 touchdowns, which is a crap ton.
Yeah, he had a lot of short touchdowns and stuff like that. And I guess, I think he's probably right here. It's probably a pretty easy list to make. Kind of like my Top Jones's list last week. Pretty easy to make. Pretty easy to have him fall in line and pick the right ones.
Well, I disagree. I think Mark Chmura is number one. And
wow,
I'm not going on stats. If you go by stats, then you got, Finley, Bubba Franks, Mark Chmura. Because Bubba Franks had 32 touchdowns, Mark Chmura had 17, so he's twice as good, right? No.
Oh, man.
He's not twice as good. Watch the film. Mark Chmura played with Fatty Keith. Fatty Keith stole the crap all of his touchdowns for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on. And Chmura only played 6 seasons, which hurts him, where Bubba Franks played 8. And Finley played 5 or 6. Finley played 6 seasons, same as Mark Chmura. Chmura was the best tight end combination of blocker, receiver, route runner, do things like that out of these 3 guys. But I would put Finley number 1. I would put Chmura number 2. And I put Bubba Franks number 3. That's what I would do. But you are a former tight end, so you put down what you said. And I probably didn't just say this because I never ever want to be a consensus. I don't ever want to agree with somebody else's list. So that's why I'll probably never have any of these be exactly what this guy said, even though probably that's the right answer. So you put them down. You tell me when you're ready to move on. And just interrupt me because I'm just going to say some other crap while we're talking. I can't think of any other guys. Like you said, we brought up the Donald Lee type guys and the Richie Rogers type guys and stuff like that. But yeah, these are the 3 guys. There's no doubt. No doubt.
All right, it's updated.
All right.
We have Finley is number 1, Chewy is number 2, and Bubba is
You put Chewy number 2. You went with me instead?
Well, I think Chmura was a better all-around tight end, even though maybe he didn't get all the opportunities, like you said, because Jackson was there and took opportunities from him for a few years. And, plus he was a hit with the teenage girls. So, I mean,
dude, why do you gotta go there with that?
Well, I mean, he did it. He shouldn't have done it. Plus, he came back and he's an analyst or he does some radio.
Hey, one of my favorite
stuff.
bands of all time is Winger. They have a song called "She's 17," right? 17.
It's terrible,
Mark
and he was
Chmura
28.
maybe he loved that song too. I don't condone it.
It's not.
I got a 17-year-old daughter. We just talked about it earlier. I don't want her to
think about that. Now, how
Chmura.
much do you like Mark Chmura?
I don't like him.
Take him
off the list. Take him off the list. Take him off. Okay, we're moving on to the offensive line. Here we go. First, we got to add. Okay, offensive lineman. Josh Sitton, center, right in the front and center. David Bakhtiari, Corey Lindsey, Brian Bulaga. You know all
Oh
those guys
my
are great.
God! Look how
Let's take a
talented
look
they
at the
are.
10 offensive linemen, and they're actually pretty spot on for the most part. But I think we're going to add a guy because Jason will have to add him. We got Dave Bakhtiari, Chad Clifton. Josh Sitton. As much as we
No.
make fun of him,
No.
come on, he wasn't that bad.
I mean, he can be on the list.
Yeah, well, they haven't.
This is top 10 though.
I know.
I don't know about that. I got issue with that. Keep going.
And they got Marco,
Marco was kind of overrated.
a different
but whatever.
62. He was overrated. Corey Linsley.
You know.
Then your second team is Brian Bulaga and Mark Tauscher.
Mark Tauscher is way
they
too
both
low.
played right tackle, so I don't understand how. So Chad Clifton should be second team behind Bakhtiari, and Mark Tauscher should be first team ahead of Brian Bulaga.
Yeah, but he's just looking at tackle, and you could flip him.
I don't care. Mark Tauscher is a starter on my all
Yeah.
Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers Packer team. He is 100% a starter, and David
Mark
Bakhtiari is a
Tauscher,
starter.
even though Chad Clifton was a high second-round pick, Mark Tauscher was a seventh-round pick. Mark Tauscher was better, much better, and much better than Chad Clifton.
Yeah,
he was a much better Packer. He was more durable. He was just as good and effective of a lineman, but he was also way more reliable and way more durable. Mark Tauscher 100% needs to be higher on this list.
Okay. So next we got Elton Jenkins, which we'll see. Mike Wall, which
Wall.
Sorry. And then Frankie Bag of Donuts.
Frankie
Rick's
Bag of
favorite guy.
Donuts.
And then for some reason, TJ Lang just missed. I say TJ Lang makes it.
Yeah,
Mike Wall comes off for sure. And then Mike Flanagan, I think Frankie Bag of Donuts would probably make it over him. And I also, because he won a Super Bowl, and I think Corey Linsley was pretty damn good. But shout out to Scotty Wells,
Scotty Wells was the man.
Who was the man who won a Super Bowl? God damn,
seventh round draft pick as well, but he was.
Do you think we should put Scotty Wells over Frankie Bag of Donuts? I do. So. I think Frankie played 10 years though.
No, yeah, but Frankie was. I mean, was Frank Winters really that good? I don't know that he was. I don't know. He was fine. I would say.
We say TJ Lang instead of Mike Wall.
100%.
I say
Mark
we switch the 62s. We take Marco Rivera off and we put Lukey Patrick in.
Well, he did get to play quite a long time. I mean, he was on the team for quite a few years. He just didn't get as much
for as long as Marco Rivera. Well,
he just didn't get to start as often. So
but when he played, he was great.
I know, but I don't think you can put him in there because he didn't.
You don't think you put Lukey Patrick in there?
No, because you have to look at
favorite.
I know, but he didn't get the opportunity to play. Like this has to also go with guys that got the opportunity to play and got snaps and impact the game and impact the team.
Okay.
Now, was Lucas better than some bunch of these guys? Yeah, he was
then
better.
He should be on the list. Jason, I don't care. It's the same as saying as we went over the stats. Just because somebody's got 73 touchdowns, the other guy has 12 or has 37. But the other guy's way more dynamic and better.
I know that.
Greg Jennings is better than Devontae Adams. We agree. So why can't we say that Lukey Patrick's better than Marco Rivera?
Because
he's definitely better than Mike Wall.
Well, yeah, but he did not get the chances to. Although I will say this for him, from his first as a undrafted rookie stepping in Dallas, his first time to play, where he stepped in and filled in at center, and that's when I first liked him right away. He always did that. He was always available and always stepped in and covered the Packers' asses whenever they needed him. So there's value in that. But let me get through this here. Corey Linsley was not that good. I'm sorry, everybody. I know everyone thinks Corey Linsley was so great. I'm just here to tell you he was not that good. He really wasn't. I like him and I think he's a great guy, but he was not that good. He was undersized. He wasn't physical enough. And at the same time, there's plenty of plays he just did absolutely nothing. Like he's not that good. And the Packers should not have
Josh Myers.
And the Packers should not have signed him back, and the Packers should not have paid him a bunch of money, and he should not be pumped up on the Chargers like he is. Like he's just not that good. And I like him as a person, okay? I'm saying that. But Linsley, not that good. Let's see who else was on here. Oh yeah. I'm gonna say that I think Scott Wells should be on here.
I think so.
I think Linsley should be off. I'm just gonna say that.
So you're Frankie Winters as your starting center and Scotty Wells as your second, or you can put Scotty Wells as your starting
I'm going to put Scotty Wells as my number one.
Okay, let's do this. Let's
Because
make
when
the offensive
Scott
line
when
right now.
Scott
Let's
Wells when they let Scott Wells go,
it was bad.
they had a revolving door at center for like 3 or 4 seasons before they finally plugged Lindsley in there. Like it was Evan Dietrich Smith and J.C. Treader was a good player. I like him, but then, they couldn't hang on to him and he got hurt and some other stuff. A guy who's missing on here, who I can't remember how many seasons he played with the Packers, but we're also looking at his career. Adam Timmerman should be on the top 10.
Oh my God, yes, Adam Timmerman should be on here. Holy crap!
Adam Timmerman needs to be one of the guards.
How is
in
he
the
not
top
on
10.
here?
I don't know. Because this guy's a
my
dumbass.
God.
It doesn't know Packer history like we do, and like most Packer fans should know. Sorry.
Okay, let's do the starting offensive line. We'll do the starting 5, and then we'll figure out the other 5. So starting
All
left
right.
tackle, David Bakhtiari, right?
Yep.
Okay, starting left guard is who?
I'm gonna go Adam Timmerman.
Did Adam Timmerman play left guard or did he play right guard?
He might have been right guard. I'm gonna go T.J. Lang.
I agree. TJ Lang, who's
'Cause
not
he
even on
played
this
both.
top 10. Yeah,
T.J.
he played.
Lang.
TJ
I
Lang.
have T.J. Lang.
Starting center, Scotty Wells. You got to write this down.
All right.
writing it down on the order here?
I'm gonna put it in there here. I'll try not to make too much noise here. Okay.
Okay, so David Bakhtiari, number 1, or tackle, starting left tackle. Starting left guard was TJ Lang, who the thing about TJ Lang was he wasn't dirty, but he was one of those guys who blocks till the whistle.
He's tough.
The echo of the whistle kind of guy. He was a tough-nosed, hard-nosed, smack you around type guy. He's the kind of guy I like at offensive line. So, and I'm pretty sure TJ Lang played right guard though too, because I think Sitton played left guard. So
I don't care. Sitton can't be
figure
there.
it out.
T.J. Lang played both guards. He's good enough. He's fine.
Okay, fine. Starting center, Scotty Wells.
Scotty Wells.
The other starting guard, Adam Timmerman. Starting right tackle, Mark Tauscher. We got that figured out.
Absolutely, Mark Tauscher, 100%.
Okay, that's a freaking Hall of Fame offensive line right there. That's a great offensive line. Okay, so now let's go second team. Tackle, let's pick 2 guys for tackle. Chad Clifton is 1. I agree. So who's the other one? Is it Brian Bulaga? I think
Brian Bulaga? Ugh. Come on. Wasn't there anybody else?
not really.
During that time.
That was longevity and a bit, you know what I mean? As sad as it is, it's
But he
Brian
was
Bulaga.
so average for so long. Like, how was he?
You know what? Let's do Wilkerson.
No, he didn't play. He
Bruce
didn't play long.
Wilkerson,
God
number
damn it! I missed
64.
all my. Dang it! I put all that stuff in, and now it all went away because I didn't save it.
No,
I gotta redo
can't
it.
remember.
I can remember. I just got to get it typed in again. Hang on.
It all went away. Like even the
Yeah,
receivers
well,
and tight
because I
ends?
didn't save it. I'm sorry. No, just the stuff I didn't
Oh,
search.
just
I didn't
offensive
save.
lineman. Okay.
Okay. Hang on. I got it.
Oh, what are
here.
comments in the comments section saying?
I can't keep up with it right now. I'm
Okay,
trying
I'll
to do
look at it
this.
on my phone.
Shit. Sorry, guys.
I'll log in on my phone. Tell me, we need a second team. We're going with our starting 5. We'll let the chat figure out the next 5. Tell us in the chat. I'm gonna look it up right now.
TJ, and you can't take our starters away. We got Bakhtiari. We got TJ Lang.
Right, we're not
We
taking
got
those guys. Are
Scotty
starting.
Wells.
Aaron Taylor. Ooh, Rick says Aaron Taylor.
Aaron Taylor was
Ken
pretty good.
Rutgers. Ken Rutgers he did play a little bit with Brett Favre.
He played a
Ken
little
Rutgers.
with Favre.
We can get out of the Brian Bulaga by putting Ken Rutgers in there.
I would take Ken Rutgers over Brian Bulaga 100%. Who the hell was our right guard here?
So we got Aaron
Timmerman,
Taylor,
that's right.
Adam Timmerman.
And Tausch, there's no debating. Tausch was like so good. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, Tauscher was the man. The saddest thing about Mark Tauscher is he started the year after the Packers won a Super Bowl, or 2 years.
No,
after,
he
whatever.
started the year. No, he started his last season with the Packers, where he
But his last
was
year was the year before they
2009.
went. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. He missed out
Oh
on the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
right.
He played a whole bunch of years in between the 2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Or the 3 Super Bowls, because he didn't play. He wasn't there when they went to the second one and lost, but he was there the next year, and then he went all the way until 2009, and then so he never got a Super Bowl, even though he was
An
one of the
awesome
best
Packer.
players in
Yeah.
history on the offensive line. So
Yeah, that was just it sucked. Cuz Tauscher was and if you recall about Mark Tauscher, so his last season with the Packers, 2009, he was actually not they didn't have him come back.
Right.
They didn't sign
That's
him
right.
back.
He didn't sign him back. Yep.
He was out of football, and then because they thought they moved on from him, even though they shouldn't have. They should have offered him a decent contract and have him come back, but they didn't. And then they had injuries at tackle, and they had to scoop him up off of the street, and he came back and played for him and freaking played great and started and solidified their garbage line. Freaking Mark Tauscher, who saved their ass in 2009.
He was awesome.
God, he's so good.
He's got a really high voice, but
Really high voice.
other than that, he's awesome. Mark Tauscher here. I can't do a Mark Tauscher.
Why does my Jair Alexander impression sound so much like Adam Sandler?
Because he kind of
Like-
like he's like the black Adam Sandler.
But I was also, it might have also been like the Julian influence from like,
Yeah,
he obviously has to wear the sunglasses when he talk. I don't know.
Also known as Frankenstein. All right, we figured out the second
I
offensive
want
line.
30
Comments,
packets of
there's nothing
ketchup.
There. It's Aaron Taylor and Corey Lindsley, and we're not. I mean, maybe Aaron
want-
Taylor, but
30 packets of ketchup.
I think Lukey Patrick deserves it, dude. He's your all-time favorite guy. Put him on the damn list.
He is, but he's going to be on my list no matter what.
Okay, well then we won't put him on. So who's our tackles? Our second team tackles. We got Chad
David
Clifton.
says Josh Myers or Corey Lindsley. Corey Lindsley, David, 100%.
Yeah, Corey Lindsey way better.
Oh,
Josh
Rick
Myers.
said not Aaron Taylor. Okay. Lee said, could you imagine
not him.
that line? Jeez. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to say, all right, let's finish it off then because I know offensive linemen better than any
You pick
analyst
him.
that's
I
ever.
can't figure it out.
Any analyst that's ever lived. I know better than anybody who's ever played. I'm just kidding.
Earl,
all right.
Earl Dotson, can he play?
He was pretty good, and I think
was
Rick
pretty-
liked him. I think Rick learned a lot from him that one year.
Bruce Wilkerson came in and saved our ass.
He did,
was
but
the
he-
starter
he-
when they won the Super Bowl.
But he didn't play them. I'm gonna
John
say
Terrible.
Rutgers. If he qualifies, he's in there.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna say left guard. I don't
You
know if
got
I don't know if
Marco,
Elton
Josh-
Jenkins is. I don't know if Elton Jenkins is good enough.
I don't think he's on this list. I think I'd take Lucas Patrick over Elton Jenkins.
Who
I
else do
showed
I
you
have on
plays
this
where he
list?
just fell on his face and missed guys completely when they're right in front of him. He couldn't even get a hand
I
on him.
know, but that
And
happens
that's
to
just
everybody.
terrible. Okay, it happens every time. When you're a Pro Bowl top freaking paid guy at your position in the NFL, you don't let a guy who's 1 inch in front of you.
Oh yeah, we got to give it
teleport.
to. We got to give it to City. We'll give it to Garbage Sitton. He wasn't that good, but he was better than.
He was better than freaking. I
Elton
think he's better than
Jenkins.
Elton Jenkins.
Center, we're gonna go with.
Patrick.
We're gonna have to go with Lucas Patrick because he was the best at
What
center.
I'm
So
saying.
we're,
Oh, you can't leave Frank Winters off. Put Lucas at right guard / center.
just because he can play anywhere on the interior doesn't mean you should put him anywhere. But I'd have him as my center. To be actually, I might have him start over Scotty Wells too at center. But anyway, never mind.
You got to put Frankie Winters on there.
Bag of
Let's
donuts.
just put Frankie Winters, Lucas Patrick, and then we're good.
All right.
And we got our 10 guys. Lukey Patrick
Oh.
makes it as number 10.
Donuts. And then right guard, Lucas, that's his second best spot. And then who's our other tackle?
Ken Rutgers,
Oh no, I already said him. Who's our other tackle?
Chad Clifton.
Oh yeah, all right. We'll let Cliffy have him in there. That's fine.
I mean, he's no Mark Tauscher, but what are you gonna do?
No, he's not. He
He
definitely
was only
not.
drafted the same year, and
Second round.
5 rounds ahead of him, 6 rounds ahead of him. But
Yeah. All right, there it is. D-bag era, best 53-man roster. The offensive line.
Go over,
has
I
been
can't see
updated.
it, so go over our picks again one more time. Tell everybody what they were, all 10.
All right, we
In
got
order.
quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers.
No,
Matt
not
Hasselbeck.
that. We're just
Oh, not that one.
just
Okay,
the offensive line. We still got
offensive
the whole
line, okay.
defense to do, and it's already
Holy
10:30. We gotta pick
crap.
this up. Just do the
Holy
offensive line.
All right, so offensive lineman, we got. We're coming up on here. We got left tackle David Bakhtiari. We got left guard TJ Lang. We got center Scotty Wells. Right guard Adam Timmerman. Don't forget Timmerman. Right tackle Mark Tauscher. The second string is Ken Rutgers at tackle. Josh Sitton at guard. Frankie Bag of Donuts at center. LP Lucas Patrick at right guard and Cliffy at right tackle. That's what we got.
All right, that works. That works for me. All right, we're moving on to the next section, which is, of course, D lineman number 1, according to Zach Cruz.
What?
whoever this guy's name is Kenny Clark. Are you
What in the
freaking kidding me? Kenny Clark over Gilbert Brown, BJ Raji, Santana Dotson, Mike Daniels, and Cullen Jenkins, who didn't even make the list. This is a joke of all jokes. A joke of all jokes. You know what, Jason? I also not only do I think Kenny Clark should be number 1, I don't think he makes this 5-man defensive line.
No.
Because I think every one of those other guys, including Colin Jenkins, who was awesome, are all better than Kenny Clark. So what do you think about that?
Hold on. David had a quick comment here saying I'd have to go back to the 60s to give an opinion on the best offensive line.
Well,
on the
we're not
Packers
going that far.
Ran the Packer sweep and dominated. We're just doing the
yeah.
D-bag, the
this is
douchebag
just,
era of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I just call it the D-bag era. Some people
if
call it
anybody's showing up now, we got to let them know that this is just players that played between the day when Don Mikowski got hurt and Brett Favre stepped in until the end of the 2022 season. So this is the best team of players we can come up with of players that played during that amount of time.
Let me
Okay,
just
so the 60s. Yeah, you take that whole damn team.
Yeah.
You know, boom, you throw all those guys over any one of these, pretty much, except for maybe
All right.
Bakhtiari, who's Hall of Famer probably, but whatever.
First off, I don't know what the hell this guy's looking at. Kenny Clark and Gilbert Brown, as your first two. What the hell are you talking about?
This does not conclude as edge rushers, which is interesting to me because you got to remember the Pack. Because Reggie, of course, is considered an edge rusher on here. So I just want to make that clear.
Weird.
The Packers played a 4-3 with 4 down defensive linemen and 3 linebackers with the Brett Favre for the majority of the Brett Favre era, and they switched to the 3-4 right before we got to the Aaron Rodgers era, right? So that's why this is a little weird. So some defensive ends, like Colin Jenkins, are on here, and this part is defensive line because they played in a 3-4 with the Packers. Though Reggie White could have easily played, is considered really a defensive lineman who played outside pass rusher at defensive end in a 4-3. So that's why it's really weird. Like Reggie White should be number 1 here, I think.
This is a long show, but a great show. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say this.
So just so
I would agree. Reggie,
I think Reggie White, we should take him off edge rusher and put him at D-line. And put Reggie White number 1 defensive lineman.
We're just gonna call him D lineman, and we're gonna do DL1, DL2, and I would say Reggie.
Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna see how many he put at edge rusher 4. Okay, I think we can get Reggie. I think we can still come up with 4 edge rushers that aren't Reggie.
I think so too. Okay, and then we got
5 defensive linemen, and we move Reggie from edge rusher to D line because he was more of a D lineman. Like he could play the run. He was the dominant number 1. He's defensive line because if he played today, he would be a 3-4 defensive end.
Now,
right?
You're right. Now, BJ Raji was a damn good player. Highly underrated. He's way better than Kenny Clark ever dreams to be, and much better than Gilbert Brown. So, BJ Raji is probably next.
Okay, I agree.
How do you feel about that? Okay.
I'm okay with that. So, Reggie White, number 1. BJ Raji, number 2. I agree.
All right. And then
number
Kenny
3,
Clark or Gilbert? No.
I'm going to go
with Mike Daniels.
Yes, I agree. And here's the thing that's really weird. If they look at the stats down here and they talk about Mike Daniels, let's take a look at Mike Daniels. Mike Daniels had 29 sacks and 47 tackles for loss over 7 seasons with the Packers. Undersized. He also made a Pro Bowl in 2017 when he had 5 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss, and 14 quarterback hits. So Mike Daniels had 29 sacks and 47 tackles in his seasons with the Packers. Kenny Clark in his seasons with the Packers. Kenny Clark has only 26.5 sacks. So Mike Daniels had more sacks and way more tackles for loss. Yeah, Kenny Clark's number 1 and Mike Daniels is way down like at number 5. No.
Mike Daniels is way more impactful than Kenny Clark. Yeah.
Mike Daniels had the twitchiness of Aaron Donald. He's not Aaron Donald, but he had the twitchiness of Aaron Donald, and he had the ability to hold up against double team blocks so that other guys could come and make plays. And that was the difference between Mike Daniels and Kenny Clark.
And Mike Daniels was just a football player.
Yeah. Way better. I almost, I don't know. I like BJ Raji. I almost think Mike Daniels should be higher ahead of BJ Raji. That's just me. I don't know.
I think
he played longer. BJ Raji got hurt quite a bit.
You know what? Maybe.
BJ Raji had a big, awesome interception in the playoffs, which we got us to the Super Bowl. Yes. But when it comes to actually a player on the team who was awesome, I
have to say I didn't value or probably pay close enough attention to BJ Raji enough while he was playing. But when he was gone and then basically, what was it? Kenny Clark came in. Is that kind of around the same time? Yeah, 15 to 16. The difference between those two, drastic to me.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
So I don't know. And Mike D was freaking
All right,
awesome.
we'll stick with Mike D at 3. So who's 4? I think
They're
it should be
close.
Colin Jenkins. I think Colin Jenkins never got the respect he deserved. And then
was
he went on
awesome.
to he got paid to go to the Giants, and he played amazing with the Giants and won Super Bowl with them. And not the Giants. He went to the Eagles. That's where he went.
Yep.
But he played great with the Eagles. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but he played great with the Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with us, but he was great. Colin Jenkins,
Yeah.
I think, should be number 4. And then this is really tough with the 5th because Santana, and you got to choose between Santana and Gilbert. Because I think Kenny Clark doesn't make it.
I'm taking Santana on that one all day.
I think so too. Santana, I mean, Gilbert is great. He was great.
He just didn't do a
But
lot.
Santana was really, he dominated. And let's ask Rick. Rick, in the comments, tell us, is it Santana or Gilbert? Well, Rick's got his list. Reggie, Daniels, Santana, Gilbert, and Colin Jenkins. So he doesn't agree with the BJ Raji, but we're overriding you there with that, Rick. But Rick's got Santana ahead of Gilbert, so that means Santana makes the list on our top 5. Gilbert just falls off, but he gets honorable mention, and of course the Gilbert burger at Burger King, always a great big. You wanted to feel like you're gonna barf after you eat something, go get a Gilbert burger from Burger King.
Yep. David says so. They're here. David says, "Damn, we had some great defensive players in the '90s. The '90s teams feared our defense. Well, they did. And I'm not saying Gilbert wasn't good, but Gilbert just didn't have the lateral movement, or he couldn't make many plays. However, he was good at holding it down. I don't know. Mike D could be number 2. He was that good, but he also didn't get to play right away. I'm just saying that. Like, that's my test for BJ Raji. 2 things. 1, the noticeable difference between when he left and Kenny Clark stepped into that role. And then number 2, do the Packers make it to the Super Bowl without BJ Raji, Ben, in that NFC Championship game?
No, but do
Okay.
the Packers win the Super Bowl without Ryan Pickett?
Probably still.
Maybe Ryan Pickett deserves it over Santana Dotson.
He didn't play it long enough.
Okay.
He didn't play it
All right.
long enough. Santana was the Super Bowl winner. We're good there. Okay.
So was Ryan Pickett.
We
Spill it,
got it.
Pickett. Spill it,
I
Pickett.
cannot believe that clown, whoever made this list, did not think of Adam Timmerman. Adam Timmerman was a great guard.
I can't believe you didn't think of Ryan Pickett.
Excellent guard.
You put Colin Jenkins on there, but he didn't put Ryan Pickett on there?
Wow.
I don't know.
Colin Jenkins was a
All right,
monster.
you got the list
though.
on
He was
there
really good.
so we can
Yeah,
move
we're
on, or
good.
what?
We're good.
Okay, we're moving on.
Moving
Moving on to edge rusher. Remember, Reggie White, we considered as a defensive. So he's pictured
Right.
here as the best edge rusher. He's a
Yep.
defensive lineman. He's a defensive lineman, not an edge rusher. So that puts Clay Matthews our number 1, and I agree. Clay Matthews should be number 1 edge rusher. You got Kabir Baja-Biamila, he was okay. Aaron Campman, who dominated. And then they got guys like Rashawn Gary, Julius Peppers, Zadarius Smith. I mean, no, he's not making it. And you think about edge rushers on the Packers, and who else are we thinking of? Yikes. That's kind of a sad list of guys there. We had a lot of revolving door type guys.
Yeah, short-term guys.
Yeah,
Right.
because we had Frank Zombo and we had, I don't know, like Santana, or not Santana, Sean Jones, who I think of him more as an edge rusher than a defensive lineman because he couldn't hold up against a run like Reggie could. So I would put Sean Jones in
100%.
this list. So maybe Sean Jones makes number 4 edge rusher. And you just keep everybody on there and just slide them up one. But I would actually maybe move Cameron ahead of Kabir Baja-Biamila. But Aaron Campman was not as fast. I mean, Kabir had the speed.
Yeah, but Campman was a better player overall, I think.
And I think
He
Julius
just-
Peppers 3 seasons isn't enough, right?
No, and he was really only impactful like probably the first 2 seasons. So the last season he really didn't do much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Sean Gary, how could he? I mean, he played one season.
he's another guy that's being so
Ridiculous that he's
overblown.
even named here. Like I think Frank Zombo has got more dime.
I mean, right now the
Eric
way
Walden
that
has
you
more of an
the way that
impact.
you see people talk about because a lot.
Brad Jones had more of an impact. I mean, maybe not impact, but I mean, just
No,
stats.
but I mean, right now what they're doing with Rashawn Gary is basically like all those other guys you just named. if they would be talking about them like they're one of the best players in the league. If they'd be talking about Eric Walden after the 2010 season, like he's one of the best players in the league.
I know.
That's what they're doing with
The
Rashawn.
difference
Like,
was Eric Walden was a free agent signing, and
Yes.
Rashawn Gary was a number 12 pick overall, and that's why they talk
Yeah.
about him like that.
but they are just blowing the hell out of Rashawn Gary, Jair. Like, I'm just settle down, everybody. Okay, they're good players. They're not all world best thing in the league. I'm sorry, they're just not. So
maybe that's why they moved Reggie to edge rusher, because they knew they didn't have that much to work with.
yeah, probably.
And when they put this list on USA Today, whatever, and so I guess. But I mean, I still think Reggie should be defensive lineman, but maybe we should
agree
move
with
him back over here. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
that'll somebody else at D line. But I just think Reggie. If he played today, Reggie would be a 3-4 defensive end.
Yeah,
so I
because
can't.
he was
I
like
can't put
300
him-
pounds.
Yeah, he's not. He wouldn't fit in today's edge rusher list.
No.
So do we do that? Clay Matthews, Kabir, Aaron Campman, and then, crap, who did I just say? Oh my God, I just said it. What was I thinking? Shoot, my brain just. Oh, Sean Jones.
Jones, you want to do him?
Sean Jones at
that's
4.
fine.
He had 3 seasons. He won a Super Bowl. It just shows you that how dominant Clay Matthews and Reggie White were for this team. How important they were on those 2 Super Bowl winning teams. When we had dominant pass rushers, we won a Super Bowl. You know,
That's what Goody's thinking. That's why he drafted Lucas Van Ness.
so we would hope Lucas X and with him and what's his face together, maybe they could make something happen here.
So Clay Matthews number 1, Aaron Campman number 2, Kabir number 3, and Honolulu Jones number 4.
Which is a sad list for number 4, but the other guys, I can get on board with those guys.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
So you
Clay
already
Matthews
got that on.
played a
The
long time. Yeah.
We can move on. That's a pretty self-explanatory one here.
Yep.
The next one is kind of a sad list too. Here we go. Inside linebacker. You got the 2 guys. He's got at number 1 and number 2, Nick Barnett and AJ Hawk, and then he's got Devondre Campbell,
What?
followed by Wayne Simmons, who was outside
Wait a minute.
linebacker.
Why in the hell is AJ Hawk on this list? What is happening here?
Why is
What?
Devondre Campbell on this list? This just shows you, like, okay,
How
let's
bad.
we got to start educating some people. Now he's also got his mentions George Kuntz, who, yes, I think George Kuntz should make the top 4, and Desmond Bishop, who only played 4 seasons, but he might almost make it. But the guy we're missing is Bernardo. What the hell? Bernardo
Well-
should be on this list.
And I'm also going to say Blake Martinez is better than most of these guys too.
Yeah, but he can't make the list.
Why not? He's better than most of these guys.
It doesn't matter. I think AJ Hawk has to make it.
No, AJ Hawk,
He played forever.
he was
played
not
8
good.
seasons.
But he was not good.
He wasn't bad.
Linebacker's job is to tackle people. Linebacker's job is to make plays and bring people down so you can get off the field. And AJ Hawk, yes, while maybe he tackled some people from time to time, oftentimes did not bring people down, was never physical enough, and did not bring people down to stop them from getting first downs. AJ Hawk, no, I don't care. I don't care.
Guys in the chat.
Blake Martinez is 4 years. Like,
No, Blake Martinez can't make it.
I think Blake Martinez-
is AJ Hawk. They're the same guy.
no,
If-
Blake Martinez
if
better
Blake
tackler.
Martinez would have went to the Giants and then all of a sudden became something, then I could agree with you. But he didn't. So as much as
Man.
yes, Blake Martinez is fine, he's not a top 4 Packer during this, or inside linebacker or linebacker period during this time. He just isn't. He can't make the list. If Hawk can't make it, Martinez certainly can't make it. Because Hawk did it for
Wow.
8 years, Martinez did it for 4, and they were the same guy.
Devondre Campbell is definitely not on here.
Devondre Campbell's not on here.
Desmond
coming on.
Bishop is only 5, 7, 8. Okay, I can't do the math, but is that like 5 seasons?
Yeah.
But
No. Yeah, 5.
it's not many
And
more.
I don't know
than
how
Blake.
long Bernardo played, but I don't care.
He
Bernardo's
didn't
the man.
play that long. I mean, he played. He was on the team for a while, but he didn't get to start at linebacker.
Here's the other thing. Our 4th linebacker is going to be playing special teams.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a guy I know I can trust. If my guys get hurt, he can come in and play middle linebacker and lead the team. That's Bernardo. Also, he's awesome at special teams. That's Bernardo. I'm putting Bernardo on this list. I don't give a shit. He's
Well,
number 4
I'm putting
linebacker
Blake.
on this
I'm putting Blake Martinez on this list. So let's make
over
a list.
George Kuntz.
Yep, let's make a list. Here we go.
Can't put him on over George Kuntz.
I'm doing it. Here, let's do it. Who's number
You're
one?
taking AJ Hawk off the list.
AJ Hawk stinks as a show host and a podcast host, and he's even worse at linebacker. I'm gonna say that. So let's get him off the list now. Linebacker.
So the only guy we're keeping is Nick Barnett. I'm assuming.
I don't even know if I like him on here.
He was pretty damn good when he
Was he that good? Was he really?
He at least made some plays. He got some picks. He ran around and did something.
Where's Brian Williams? I would take Brian Williams over some of these guys.
I mean, I'd take Brian Williams over Wayne Simmons. Yes.
God dang it.
You're telling me you're not going to have any of these 4 guys on the list. You're taking Nick Barnett, AJ Hawk, Devondre Campbell, and Wayne Simmons all off, and you're going to put Desmond Bishop, Bernardo, Brian Williams, and who else did you say?
I'm gonna say
Blake
Bishop's
Martinez.
number 1. Bishop's
You can't
number
put
1.
Blake Martinez on here, dude. George Kuntz has got to be over Blake Martinez.
Bishop is number 1. All right.
No, he's not.
Who do you say? Bishop's
Nick
number
Barnett.
1. You're gonna say Nick Barnett? I think Bishop was a
He
better
made
tackler than
plays.
him.
I think you're forgetting. He's kind of like Amon Green.
He's kind of like Morgan Burnett. Nick Barnett and Morgan Burnett were kind of like the same to me.
Barnett made way more plays than Morgan Burnett. Morgan Burnett made no plays.
All right, you're saying Nick Barnett. You get him at number 2. He doesn't get to be higher than that.
Okay, well, who's number 1? Who'd you put at number 1?
Desmond Bishop.
Desmond Bishop at number 1.
Desmond Bishop is number 1.
I love Desmond Bishop. Don't get me wrong. Okay, and then we're putting Bernardo. I don't care.
Bernardo is number 3, and then Big Blake is number 4.
No, George Kuntz is better than Blake Martinez. Put George Kuntz. You're forgetting. You're telling me we're not going to have a single linebacker from the Super Bowl winning team? Well, we got Bernardo.
Yeah,
You
we got the one that mattered. George Kuntz.
Could cover, he could tackle, and he could blitz the quarterback. He could do all things. George Kuntz is better than Blake Martinez ever dreamed of being. If you put Blake Martinez on this list over George Kuntz, I will disown you as my brother.
All right, they're tied.
No! You
They're
take Blake Martinez off the list. He went to the Giants and did nothing. He's not half as good as... Listen, no. You are the craziest person I ever met. Your favorite guy, Lukey Patrick, I had to convince you and bug you to get him on the list. And this guy who stinks, you want to try to get him on here?
He didn't stink. He tackled everybody. He was the only guy on defense that tackled anybody for 2 seasons.
First downs. That's really great.
Because nobody else did anything. He had to tackle
I don't
everybody.
give a crap. George Kuntz got in a guy's face and smacked him. George Kuntz could cover a guy. Blake Martinez could cover anybody.
Blake Martinez.
I'd take Ty Summers over frickin'
Ty Summers. Maybe this list makes Ty Summers look pretty good.
I know it does make Ty Summers look pretty damn good, but he's not good enough to make the list. George Kuntz should be on this list. So if you put not put Blake Martinez on this list. George Kuntz should be on it, and Bernardo could be number 3. George Kuntz should be number 4. That's the list. Whatever we made it.
I'm just gonna say this. People talk about Quay Walker being overhyped. This list makes Quay Walker not overhyped. Good. Yeah,
You're right.
He might be number 1 on this. Yeah,
he might be number 1 after this next year. Like if he has a good year this year, he will go to number 1 linebacker. But well, he's not during the Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre era. So
right,
well, he is. I guess he played last year with Brett Favre or with Aaron Rodgers. They're the same guy. Anyways. Anyways, all right. So you do not have Blake Martinez on here, right? I can't see.
All right, I'll switch it for you.
Hey, come on, George Kuntz. God dang it. Okay, so Desmond Bishop, Nick Barnett, Bernardo Harris, George Kuntz. That's our starting, or not a starting, but those are our linebackers.
That's sad.
We got a really good. There are going to be a lot of good defensive. We're going to be a nickel a lot with only one linebacker on the field, and apparently it's going to be Nick Barnett because the other guys are going to be playing on special teams. We're going to have a great special teams with Desmond Bishop and Bernardo. Those are our leaders on our special teams. They're going to be really damn good special teams. That's all I can say.
David says Green Bay was never, to be fair, Green Bay was never known for linebackers except for from the 60s, David. You remember those linebackers.
Well, yeah.
Jonathan says George could make you quit.
Well, there you go. See? George Kuntz, make you quit.
Rick says, the return of Ty Summers fan club. Yeah, Kuntz. Okay, we'll give it to him for that.
Yeah,
and the bar is not very high at linebacker. That's true.
It's not very high, David. You are correct, sir.
No, they did not prioritize linebacker for many years. I mean, Bernardo Harris, like Nick Barnett was a high pick. AJ Hawk, maybe that's why they stopped prioritizing it because they went with Nick Barnett, AJ Hawk a number 5 overall pick, and he was a sorry. That's what he
wasn't
was.
as bad as you think he was, but I guess you kept him off the list, and I don't really.
He was so not impactful. Like at middle linebacker, that is the point. You make plays, you tackle people, you do stuff that changes the game, and he didn't do any of that. He was such a putz. AJ, if there was a picture to put next to the word putz in Wikipedia or the dictionary, it should be a picture of AJ Hawk in a football uniform.
Okay, you're gonna get some fans mad, so just calm down.
I'm sorry, AJ Hawk was a putz. I know Bruce has his jersey, but Bruce, he sucked.
We can move on. It's getting late. I got to work at 5 in the morning.
All right,
so,
go ahead.
All right, are we ready? You got everybody on the list? We're good?
Yeah, they're all there.
All right, sweet. Cornerback. This one is also making me mad. Now, number 1, no doubt, Charles Woodson, 100%. No doubt. Number 2, Jair
Number 2 is
Alexander.
Tramon Williams.
Number 2 is Tramon Williams. Let's put it. You start right now. You're right.
100%.
Charles Woodson, number 1. Tramon Williams, number 2. 100% agree.
Jair Alexander wishes he could be as good as Tramon Williams.
Right.
Or as impactful. He has talent, but he doesn't make plays enough.
And Al Harris does not make my top 5.
No, Al Harris is nothing. He's a piece of garbage. Please.
Jair, I don't know if he's going to make my top 5.
I don't know if he will either.
Sam Shields, I don't know if he's going to make my top 5. He's got honorable mentions of Mike McKenzie and Craig Newsome. They don't make my top 5. Doug Evans is making my top 5 because when he played,
he's
he
number
was
3.
Freaking amazing. So I agree. Charles Woodson, Tramon Williams, Doug Evans. Those are our top 3. We need 2 more. And number 5 is Rasul Douglas. So you can put whoever the hell you want at 4. But Rasul Douglas is making this damn list because if I have a team, I want Rasul Douglas on my damn team. So now we need is a number 4 between Sam Shields, Jair, and I know you hate Jair, and that's why I'm worried about you not putting him on here.
It's not that I hate him. He's not.
But would he be a good number 4 on this particular team? A smaller guy who can cover a slot guy, maybe? Well, Charles Woodson's our star. He's our slot. So we're gonna have.
And Charles Woodson tackle people like
actually,
Jair can't. Jair can't sniff.
Rasul should be number 4. Rasul should be number 4. So this is our number 5. Who's our number 5?
Jair cannot sniff Charles Woodson's farts, and he can't even get in the ballpark of being as good as Tramon Williams. So I don't know why everyone thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's freaking not. Like, get off the Jair hype train already.
He's not as bad as you say he is, though.
No, I'm not. But I don't say he's bad. I just say he's so overhyped. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I told you he's a 21st best player.
No, based on what?
In the top 100 players in the NFL, Jair was number 21. The only Packer on the list was Jair Alexander at 21.
Where does he impact the game?
I don't know.
There's no impact. He doesn't.
Not like Rasul.
Oh my God! Stop it already. He's not even the best cornerback on his own team. He's not.
No.
Like, stop it. Oh my God! I'm sick of trying to educate people. It pisses me off. I'm just done with it. Because it makes me seem like I hate him and like he's not good. He is a good player, but he is limited in what he can do, right? He's limited. He's not physical. He doesn't tackle. He's not great in zone coverage. He's not great at finding the ball and being aware. He is pretty good as a man coverage guy, and he's also best when he can grab and hold and get away with that stuff. Now, that's the only reason. This is my theory. That's the only reason for the Packer hype train with Jair is they know that the corners in the league that get talked about like they're the best corners get away with shit, right? Don't they, Ben? They get away with extra grabs and holds and stuff like that. Isn't that correct?
I don't know, but you're going to make Lee mad. He says he likes Jair, so you're going to make
That's
Lee
fine
mad.
that you like him.
I trust Lee on his stuff.
It's not that I don't like him. It's that he's not the best cornerback in the
really
world.
Likes Jair. Lee really likes Jair.
Well, good. That's good. But he's not the best cornerback in the league, and he's limited. And what I'm saying is the hype train is this. The hype train is the Packers are pumping him up so much so he can grab and hold more often and get away with it because if you remember his rookie season when he burst onto the scene, and his rookie season, he was very impactful for a rookie. But he grabbed and he held and he pulled and he got those advantages. And if the Packers can pump him up to the level of he gets away with what Richard Sherman got away with, he gets away with what Jalen Ramsey got away with, gets away with what Sauce Gardner got away with last year, he will be better. So I think the idea of all this pump up is that we're going to try to get
play that way.
I know, but it can still help him. Now, the problem is this. Here is what it will result in: more incomplete passes. But because he's not good at adjusting and finding the ball in the air, it will not result in more game-changing plays.
Okay, but we have Charles Woodson
Just
and
letting
Tremont
you know.
Williams and Rasul Douglas on this team, so we don't need him to do that.
I know.
Here's my suggestion. This is what I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
say. I think we
say
should
it.
take 6 corners
I
instead
will
of 5.
put Jair. I'll put him in here.
Put Jair at put him at number 6 because I think Sam Shields should be number 5, and Lee and not Lee, but David says that the defense once they lost Sam Shields, it was never the same, and he's right because Sam was fast enough to make plays and get picks because he played receiver before. He had great hands. I say we have 6 corners because our safeties are going to stink, and we can always put Charles Woodson or Rasul Douglas back there at safety if we need to. So I say we have 6 corners. We make Rasul quarterback number 4. We make Sam Shields cornerback number 5, and we put Jair Alexander quarterback number 6.
Who was number 3?
Who was number 3?
Yeah, it wasn't Al Harris. I remember that. Mike
Doug
McKenzie.
Evans. What the hell's wrong with you?
Mike McKenzie is a just missed on this guy. What the hell? Over Doug Evans? That's just dumb.
And Craig Newsome. Craig Newsome is probably the most overhyped player.
Yeah, just because he was
Said
a first
Earl
round pick,
Buckley.
get the hell out of here.
Doug Evans was way better than him on the same team. I mean, come on. Doug Evans was way better.
So who's our number 5?
Okay, Charles Woodson, number 1. Tremont
got
Williams, number 2.
Woodson, Tremont,
Doug Evans, number 3. Rasul
Rasul.
Douglas, number 4. Sam Shields, number 5.
Oh, Sam,
so he's
okay.
exactly the same spot as he is on here. And then we add a 6th corner and Jair at 6 because we're going to cut
All
the
right.
safety. If we lose safeties, we're going to put Charles Woodson at safety, or we're going to put Rasul Douglas at safety, and we'll be fine because those guys are awesome.
I'd put Rasul at safety. He'd be awesome. All right.
Yeah. We'll be fine. So we got 6 corners.
All right.
Instead
So
of
just
5.
Just a heads up, everybody. The guy that everybody thinks is the greatest cornerback in the world right now is number 6 on this list, but whatever.
Right.
All right. We're
moving
running the list. What do you got
Okay.
for safeties here?
Moving on to safeties. Here we go.
Safety's kind of sad list
So
over
we're
the
going to have
years.
3 safeties, and that's it. Leroy Butler is number 1.
Darren Sharper, you don't get to be on our list because
Darren
you're a
Sharper's
total
on the list. There you go.
douchebag.
That's perfect. Darren Sharper number 1. Nick Collins number 2. No doubts there. So we got one more. safety
Leroy
to come
Butler.
up.
Leroy Butler, number 1. Yeah.
That's what I said. Leroy Butler.
You
Did I say
said
Sharper?
Darren Sharper. You said Darren Sharper.
Oh my God!
because
No, not Darren Sharper. What the hell? No. Leroy
Darren
Butler,
Sharper
number
is
1.
disqualified from a Hafen Bros list because he's when you're a
Disqualified.
criminal and you do that stuff. Sorry, I don't care how good you were.
Just like Bill Cosby is one of the greatest comics of all time, but he no longer exists. So there you go.
Sorry.
Okay, so we got Leroy Butler, Nick Collins. Now we got to come with one more safety, and it's not going to be Morgan Burnett. I'm sorry, he doesn't make plays.
No, he's weak.
I think it's obvious we have to do something crazy, and we're going to take a guy who never played safety for the Packers, but he's one of the best safeties in the league right now, and he did play for the Packers, and he played awesome, and they should have played him at safety,
Smart.
and that's going to be Micah Hyde.
He's
Makes
on my
our list.
team.
Number 3 safety. Actually, maybe he should be number 2 over Nick Collins, but we'll.
He's on my
I think
team.
he should be. I think he should be number 2 over Nick Collins.
No. Nick Collins
Fine,
was too good.
So Leroy Butler number 1, Nick Collins number 2, Micah Hyde number 3. We only got 3 safeties because we can take Rasul and move him over there if we need to. We're fine. Safety was the easiest one to do. David, I told you last week, don't you say stuff like that. David said Rasul Douglas should always be an outside corner. David, I told you. Rasul Douglas ranked number 9 out of players who played 100 snaps at the nickel/slot defender last year in ranking per PFF. Number 9 in the NFL, which means
Ridiculous.
he is a good middle safety or slot safety or corner. God, I'm losing it. I'm getting tired.
He's
So-
good at everything. He's good at covering people. He's good at locating the ball in the air. He's good at recognizing in space too. How to do? Remember the Tennessee game where he peeled off his guy and just basically played safety and picked off Ryan Tannehill because Ryan Tannehill wasn't expecting him to be there.
Well, he did that to a couple guys.
I know, but that's the kind of stuff like that a safety would do. Like you'd want
yeah.
Darnell
I understand.
Savage to do, but he can't.
David,
So-
trust me. I know you hear this all the time that Rasul sucked last year at corner. Andy Herman says it constantly.
not.
All the reporters
He
say it
did not.
constantly. Don't
He
believe
did
it.
not. He
The
did not.
stats and the film tells you the truth. Did he give up some receptions? Yes, he did. He did.
Not that
'Cause
many.
He's not a quick twitch guy. So if he
Almost
goes
the
up
exact
little-
same number of yards that Jair gave up last
That's
year.
right.
The best.
No, I'm
quarterback
talking
in
about in the
league.
slot. Like he probably did give up some catches in the slot
Okay.
because he can't cover the short, quick guys. But then don't put him on the short, quick guys. If a short, quick guy lines up in the slot, have him and
It's
Jair switch
simple.
spots. That's how you do it. But if he goes up against a slot guy who's bigger, he can handle him. He just can't handle guys like these little jitterbug guys. So that's all I'm saying, David. Don't believe everything you hear.
Hey, Jonathan with an honorable mention for Mike Pryor in here.
Mike Pryor.
Yeah.
You know what? If we didn't have the guy we're going to have as a return man, I would say Mike Pryor could just sit back there and catch punts. But we got a different guy for return man, I think, and I agree with the guy's choice here.
All right, so hang on one second. We got a couple comments to get to. William G.
William G. What's up?
They should have never let Micah Hyde go.
Hey, that's
TT
the comment
didn't
of the night. That's the comment of the night. Remember we said at the start of the show we had the best comment of the night? That is the best comment of the most truthful comment of tonight.
That was the start. That was the start of the decline for Ted Thompson. Sorry, Ted.
That was
Rest
the biggest
in peace.
mistake in the history of Ted Thompson's reign.
They like Eugene Robinson. He was good. He was pretty good. But, when you get... I don't know.
Only played 1 year, and then he went and got in trouble for going to the bars. And the Falcons lost the Super Bowl to stupid Broncos, and that was all his fault because he went to
when you make bad choices the eve of the Super Bowl,
that's not a smart move. Especially when you're a married man in your late 30s or 40 or however old he was.
Holy crap. David says, Rasul Douglas's signing is why I believe in Goody.
Well,
the initial signing
when
when the Raiders cast him away and 4 other teams cast him away.
The Cardinals, yeah.
Cardinals thought he wasn't good enough to be he had to put him on the practice squad. What a bunch of dummies. Okay, all right, continue on.
All right, here we go. We're moving on past it. You got the safeties all on there. Micah Hyde, number 3.
They're all on there.
All right,
Micah Hyde maybe Micah Hyde's number 1. Well, he's not number 1, but
no,
he should be. He's definitely should have been a safety. For
Roy Butler is. We didn't talk about Leroy here, but obviously
Roy's the man.
Hall of Famer, the man. Lambeau Leap, awesome. Ambassador for the Packers. Took less money to stay with him for all those years. He's the man. He's the man. He's the man. He's the Aaron Jones of defense in the history of the Packers, no doubts. Awesome guy.
And Nick Collins also wore 36, and the dude was insanely talented and super good, and way better than you probably realized when he was playing.
Yeah,
and you know how we're seeing that is ever since he's been hurt. You see how garbage our safeties have been. That just shows it's the same sort of thing. So Nick Collins was super good too. So okay, continue on.
I'm liking this safe. Those 3. If we have 3 lost, damn good safeties right there. I'll tell you that.
We'd win some. We'd never get. Yeah, we'd have some impactful plays from our safeties. Huh?
All right, so now we're moving on.
All right,
special teams. We got 5 guys. Mason Crosby,
Mason, Craigie Hentrick.
He's pretty good. Nut. Brett Good at long snapper. And Desmond Howard.
That was Josh Bidwell. That was Josh Bidwell that had.
Oh yeah, Josh Bidwell was one.
Sorry, Craig. I got a little thrown off there.
And then the guys who just missed was Jarrett Bush as auxiliary guy, Keyshawn Nixon for 1 season, Travis Jury just because Eckes is there. I agree with all these picks. I don't have any problem with any of these guys.
Did Mason Crosby just miss too? Oh no, he made
Mason
it.
Crosby's he's played the whole time.
He still says he's staying ready. He's staying ready, Ben.
Okay. Well, I don't know about that. So we got Mason Crosby, Greg Hentrick, Brett Good, and Desmond Howard. I don't think there's anybody. I think that's fine. Sure.
Think that's fine?
Maybe we
don't
can get rid of
Ryan
Brett
Longwell?
Good guy, but Ryan Longwell. He went to the Vikings. I can't trust him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Can't trust him. We'll put Mason Crosby on for Mom. Mom loves Mason Crosby.
Yeah, Mason Crosby.
I agree. This is the one I agree with. I agree with these. This is fine.
I'm not sure about Brett Good as a long snapper because I was never in favor. Well, you know what? I would in my team. I would not. I'm just gonna say this.
Patrick, long snapper?
In my team, I would not have a designated long snapper but that's all he did. I'm sorry, but someone else on the team would have to long snap.
Okay,
so
let's make
backup tight end.
Lukey Patrick will be the long snapper as our backup auxiliary guy.
So
now we can have a special teams ace. Who is our special teams ace?
Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Let's make a Keyshawn Nixon.
I would take
only 1 season. Could we put Keyshawn Nixon on here? He could also be return man if Desmond Howard gets hurt. He's going to run down there and go crazy and start smacking guys. It also gives us another corner if we need him. Because I'd take Keyshawn Nixon over Jared Bush. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just that Jared Bush did it for a long time, but
Mike Pryor.
Mike Pryor was a safety guy.
Chris Jackie. Chris Jackie.
Chris Jackie, he did play.
I trust Chris Jackie more than Mason Crosby. Maybe we got to put Chris Jackie in there. Mom will be mad. Chris Jackie has a presence on Facebook, by the way. He's always talking smack to people on there. He is not a fan of Aaron Rodgers, too. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Chris Jackie.
I see him say some stuff about Aaron Rodgers on there, and I'm like, whoa. He's not a fan of Aaron Rodgers.
Mason, Craigie Hendrick, Desmond Howard. He was really only a returner for them for 1 year. I know he is Super Bowl MVP, though.
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP. I mean, come on. Keisha Nixon's only returner man for 1 year, too.
Well, then we're putting Keyshawn on here for our special teams, everything.
Yeah, because he could also be our gunner.
That's
one
fine.
of our.
I'm good with that.
Let's put Keyshawn. That's fine. Either him or like Robert Brooks. We could have him be a gunner.
Robert
Return
Brooks
man.
was pretty good too.
Wait,
Walter Stanley. Can we
Walter
get?
Stanley.
He
Did he ever
was
play Brett Favre? I don't think he ever
too
did.
old. He was too old.
Otherwise, we put Walter Stanley for sure.
Actually, you know what? God dang, Micah Hyde could be on here too.
Right,
'Cause
Micah Hyde could be a return man. Yeah, you're right.
He was one of our best returners. He was so good.
Yeah,
And
well,
and he wasn't even that fast, but he's like one of the guys that could see the field, you know, had sure hands, could see the field.
I know who it is, Chase. I know who it is.
Who is it?
I know who our auxiliary special teamer should be.
I know who it is too. It's got to be one of the linebackers.
No. Oh yeah, maybe. I was thinking more JT.
Jeff Thompson, but I'm thinking it might have to be the beast, the kick your ass linebacker.
Amon Hollenquist
Yep.
or Keith McKenzie.
Oh, because we can put him in a pass rush. He's our edge guy, our edge rusher too. Yes, Keith McKenzie. Yeah.
Special teams all around and back up. Yeah, Keith McKenzie, because we need another edge rusher.
He should probably be on the edge rusher list over some of those guys.
Well, maybe we should go back and change it. Get Sean Jones off there and put Keith McKenzie on.
I think
that way we can get Lamont Hollenquist or Justin or Jeff Thompson on here.
God dang it, you're right.
Which
I'm
guy
gonna
should we put on? Let's go back and fix it. Can you go back and fix it?
Yeah, I can fix it. All right, Hollenquist. Is it Quist or Quest?
Quest, I think. Maybe it is Quist. Lamont Hollenquist. I don't know. You're putting Lamont on there over Jeff Thompson?
Yep. He was more dangerous because he was a linebacker.
He was more dangerous. All right. Well, we just added a couple. We sure helped out our linebackers by adding.
I'm gonna help out the edge guys by putting Keith. I don't know how we forgot about Keith McKenzie.
I don't know how we did either.
All right, let's talk about edge. We got Clay Matthews, Aaron Campman.
Okay, I'm gonna lose this screen because that's the end. So I'm gonna
Kabir and Honolulu Jones.
See what the heck we got going on here.
I'm gonna say Keith McKenzie is number 2 on that list. I'm gonna say he's edge 2.
Come on. I don't know about that. Come on. I don't know about that.
Keith McKenzie and he played well for the Browns too. Remember that after he left the Packers.
Yeah.
He's number 2. All right. I'm switching it up here because it has to be done, guys. I can't believe we forgot about Keith McKenzie.
I forget about Keith McKenzie. He's amazing.
He was better than Kabir. He was more dynamic than.
He was kind of the Micah Hyde of pass rushers. Guy that never got a shot.
And don't forget how many half sacks he gave away to Reggie.
Oh yeah,
Reggie
White half sack one.
So Keith McKenzie by far.
Our defense looks a lot better now that we remember Keith McKenzie. Okay, let's go over the list.
All right.
Number 1, quarterback Rodgers. 2, Hasselbeck. 3, Favre. Running back Aaron Jones, Amon Green, Dorsey Levens. Fullback John Kuhn. Wide receiver Sterling Sharp, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Devontae Adams, and Stonio Hands Freeman. Tight end number 1, Jermichael Finley. Number 2, Chewy. Number 3, Bubba Franks. Offensive lineman Bakhtiari, TJ Lang, Scotty Wells, Adam Timmerman, Mark Tauscher, our starting offensive line. God damn, that's good. Backups, Kenny Rutgers, Josh Sitton, Frankie Bag of Donuts, LP, Lukey Patrick, and who's also our long snapper, and Clifton just barely squeaked in at our backup tackle. D-line, Reggie White, the greatest of all time, BJ Raji, Mike Daniels, sneak attack, Colin Jenkins, awesome, everybody forgets about him, and Santana Dotson, who makes a bunch of plays behind the line of scrimmage, even though he plays D-tackle. Our edge rushers, Clay Matthews, Keith McKenzie, also special teams demon, Aaron Campman, awesome guy, and Kabir Baja Biamila, whose brother does play-by-play for the other team. Linebackers, we got Desmond Bishop, Nick Barnett, Bernardo Harris, and George Kuntz. We got corners, Charles Woodson, Tremont Williams, Doug Evans, Rasul Douglas. God damn, those first 4 are good. Sam Shields, and of course Jair. We had to throw him in there. Safety is probably our best lineup, which is weird. Butler, Collins, and Micah Hyde, unstoppable. Great safeties right there. Our kicker, Mason Crosby. Our punter, Craig Hentrick. Our kick returner, Desmond Howard. And then our secret sneak attack, special teams ace, Lamont Holland Quest. That is the D-bag era, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers era, 53-man roster, the best 53-man roster in the history of all D-bag 53-man rosters. Way better than the one they came up with on whatever I think I saw. What a show. 2 hours of amazing team building by the Hafman Bros and all the guys in the chat. Thank you for your help. Your guys we forgot about helped us make decisions on guys. We did move a couple. I said we were going to move a couple things. We did. We moved the safety to a corner. We added a couple guys here and there. Luckily, we remembered Keith McKenzie right at the end.
That was good. Yeah.
We were looking pretty rough at pass rusher. Remember, we got Reggie. He can make plays at rushing the passer too. So we're not doing too bad. But that definitely sure up our pass rush by remembering Keith McKenzie. If Nico was on here, he would have reminded us about Keith McKenzie. So,
100%.
Awesome list. I tell you, I cannot think of a better team in the history of the NFL and that's just guys over the course of 30 years, right? 30 years of football from 1992 to 2022.
Yep. The
so
Bears,
a 30-year period.
Think about the other teams in the division. Their lists are much less impressive. Vikings, Bears.
David says this team Super Bowl winners, of course, and then he says, "Oh, but Rodgers never had any help." You're right, David. That's a good joke, buddy.
Who's the coach of this team? David says it should be Holmgren.
It's Mike Holmgren because he's the only he's the only coach who won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams. Oh wait, he didn't. That's right. He got fucked by the refs. Anyways, I'm pissed. I'm so pissed about that. I still am. Matt Hasselbeck should be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Mike Holmgren should be the only head coach in the history of the NFL to win 2 Super Bowls with 2 different organizations, period. Yeah. Mike Holmgren is the coach of this team, and he's going to start Matt Hasselbeck over those other 2 douchebags. I can tell you that.
That's true. He would. Yep.
I'll tell you that. And therefore, Matt Hasselbeck should be number 1, like I said in the beginning. Change it. Change it right now. No, I'm serious. You change it right now because you got to think of who the head coach is. It's Mike Holmgren. And he's not going to start Favre because he freaking gave a bunch of ulcers and stuff. So he's not starting Favre. And Aaron Rodgers ain't starting him. He's going to go with Matt Hasselbeck as his starter. So put Hasselbeck as number 1 right now. Change it in the thing.
Think about that real quick. If Matt Hasselbeck got to throw to some of the receivers Aaron Rodgers got to throw to instead of the garbage receivers he had to throw to, how awesome would that?
Absolutely terrible now. They've been sitting here for like 2 hours. Oh my God, they're gross.
No, but just think about that. If Hasselbeck had receivers like Rodgers had.
I know.
Damn.
What a team. Man, This has got me fired up.
This is a crazy show.
I want to see this team.
Woo-hoo-hoo. It's a very long show, but hopefully it was a exercise that kept you thinking and reminded you of how good some of these Packers are. And I would just say I might take James Jones over Antonio Freeman. Stony Hand Freeman. I don't know. I might.
Heads up, Wavelength, Hafman Brothers Wavelength next week. Anybody who didn't see, we're going to be playing a Packer version of Wavelength next week. It's going to be fun. That's going to be our show. Hopefully, it's probably going to be less than an hour. Jason and I will be in person together with possible guest Nico if he shows up, if he can make it, to play Wavelength.
Hey, Ben, look at this comment from David. I get so pissed listening to these Jets podcasts saying the Packers never gave Rodgers any weapons. David, we know the truth, David.
But you know
don't let Aaron Rodgers stuff piss you off anymore.
It's the narrative that the Packer beat reporters have been saying for years, and the national media has been saying for a million years. They don't know the truth. No. You want the truth? You come to Hafman Bros, man. David, you know it.
100%.
And I appreciate everybody in the comments tonight, and everybody who's going to watch this in the next however many days. Thank you for watching.
Except Jay Gosev, who never actually watches. He just puts a snarky, dumbass, trolly comment in there.
He doesn't know what else. He's a Vikings fan. He's fine. But I'll just say, there's a couple homer picks on here. I don't care. Rasul Douglas, does he deserve it? I don't know. Lukey Patrick, I don't know.
Well, but I'll say
Douglas
does deserve it.
This isn't just a 50. You don't want to. Do you want your auxiliary offensive lineman to be a diva baby douchebag or a guy who's willing to come in there and whenever you need him to make a play? I'll take Lukey Patrick there.
I'd take him anytime. He'll do whatever.
I'll take Mike Hyde and all these guys.
Yeah, I'll do whatever is asked of him.
I like this. Yeah, this is a great show. And I just think we didn't have any plan for tonight. And we just went for more than 2 hours.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. You're the best.
Love you guys too, man. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're hanging in there. I don't know if the weather's gotten better by you at all, but it's gotten better here the last couple of days. It's been a nice change. Actually, not sucky summertime weather, kind of normal summertime weather, so it's been nice. But yeah, good show. I don't know. Hopefully people liked our last couple shows with the quarterbacks and the Joneses and this one. So I don't know. We're trying.
Weird time of year. We got to come up with something to talk about. So
we're trying. You know, we do our best. I wouldn't say we are the best, but we do our best.
And I'd say this: I think our composition of a 53-man roster during the D-bag era is much better than whatever the reporters came up with on that article.
100%. So we should probably be working for Sports Illustrated too. I mean, I don't know.
We should be working for Sports Illustrated. We should be working for the Packers front office. We should be. Honestly, the Packers should hire us. We could be media guys.
100%.
We'd be way more entertaining. I mean, I like Mike Spofford. He's a nice guy, but good God.
This is the most boring podcast of all time.
He's a little bit funny. He's not really funny, but he's, he can actually speak. But Mike Spofford is just so.
Hey, we're here again for another episode.
I love Mike Spofford, though. I'll say this. I love it when he does
nice
his,
guy. Yeah, he's nice.
Might have missed. I love his what you might have missed. Those are awesome when he does those. But man.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Stay well, be well, and we will be back next week for wild times in person together.
Drinking beers, playing games.
Holy crap, playing games.
Check your wavelength. Hafman Brothers, Jason Hafman, birthday celebration.
In his birthday suit next week. Make sure you
No. I'm not coming if that happens. No way.
Still hoping that I dream of you. Got to find